Jeez, you're already starting off with the F-bombs, Casey. Good Mormon you are. All right, guys, it's time for Truth Will Set You Free, episode number 89. We've got some topics this week, which we're going to cover after the State of the Union address, but we will be showing this in essentially its entirety. We'll do that in a second. Once we go live, we will go live on that. They're hugging. I'm looking at a TV behind me. They're hugging. They're sitting down. They're pretending as though they like each other, or maybe they do like each other, and they really just don't give a shit about the American people. That would be my guess. We've got Suni, we got Casey, we got Mo, we've got Kevin. Here you go, guys. We are gonna put in the comment box. We're gonna be doing a little drinking game. We talked about it. Maybe I don't know if we did talk about it.
No, you guys just offered my liver at like 10 o'clock in the morning, so I won't be drinking.
No, there's no better drink right now than Russian vodka. So this is a big glass of Russian vodka. So
this works.
You got Gentleman Jack up there. Is that what you're drinking? And this is going to make for our topics at the end even more interesting, because we're going to be talking about Ukraine, Russia. We're going to break down, at least spend 15, 20 minutes on the State of the Union. We'll try to let you guys listen as much as possible. I don't like talking over it. I think we're going to maybe look for some comments that we might post in there that might be interesting, but we'll try to let you guys hear all of it. I'm sure there'll be some awkward Joe Biden pauses that we can interject in, but we'll see. Anyway, so we got that. And then we're going to talk about Russia, Ukraine, and signaling the end of Virtue Signaling Month, aka Black Lives Matter Month, aka Black History Month. We're going to briefly talk about the BLM stuff that's come up with their $60 million missing. Do us a huge favor, hit the like, hit the share, hit the comment button. I'm just looking behind me to see where we're at. Gentlemen, ladies, are we ready to kick the tires, light the fires, do a little countdown?
Let's do it.
Let's get ready to rumble. Episode number 89 of Truth Will Set You Free. We are doing a State of the Union watch along, drink along, party along. Do us a huge favor and hit the like, hit the hearts. Go ahead and share this. Please use your voice, share the video. And we're going to be posting in the chat box the drinking game if you would like to play along to this. And then we're going to get into some real topics. I mean, the State of the Union should be a real topic. We know it's going to be a joke. By the way, comments have been disabled on the YouTube for the whatever, White House. You know what I mean. Anyways, guys, come on in. The water's warm. We are also going to talk Russia, Ukraine after this, and we are going to be talking about Black History Month being over at the end of this video. Anyways, Suni, what's going on in your world?
Chilling, ain't doing nothing. Disturbing some, false narratives of people sharing fake shit. Crazy.
Mo, how's life? How you were in LA? You were in La La Land last week, weren't you?
I was in Santa Cruz, and it was beautiful. Santa Cruz is beautiful, but man, Cali is every bit of miserable mask madness that they say it is. These people are nuts with the masks.
So
am I cutting in? What are you saying, Casey? Are we having issues with my feed?
I was just asking if everybody else was, or if it was just me. But occasionally, your voice was cutting out at the very beginning. So
check one, check two, check one, check two. Meat, fish, poultry, chicken, sausage, burrito, tilapia, potato, encrusted grouper, filet, Oscar.
That Russian vodka is doing you well.
Baked Alaska. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the chat box one more time. I see everybody's comments in there coming in. When Joe Biden speaks his accomplishments, he's going to go, oh, okay. No heavy cussing from Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. Good to know. Love it.
Fuck!
Sorry, Nancy.
Sorry, Nancy.
All right. So this is the link that we're putting up there. If you want to play along, this is the drinking game. Who's got the actual board up on theirs that they can share?
Oh, I can't share it, but
I can pull it up. I can pull it up.
Okay. So somebody else will share it. I've got the actual chicken soup. She's funny. Oh, it looks like it's about that time. So again, real quick, guys, before we get started, as everybody's taking their seats, we're gonna have the poor sign language lady is gonna be up there too. Feel so bad.
I feel horrible for that person.
I feel horrible. Like, I'm sorry, I do this job because I get paid, and that's it. Because he's an asshole. Okay. We're gonna be starting in a second. If you guys are interested, here's the drinking game. Go ahead and just click the link. You'll see it much better. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have it on one of my screens as well. Let's see. They're still getting in their seats at the age of most of them in there. They have to slowly put a pad down on the seat so that it does not hurt. There is no pain. They have a lot of hip issues. The other thing I was going to say, if you'd like to support us, go to awakenotwokestore.com. We've actually gotten a couple orders last few days. We've got the Let's Go Brandon hats, which is what I'm wearing for tonight's State of the Union. I got to see the Freedom Caravan today, the convoy. So badass. I got to see I didn't see the actual trucks, but I saw the overpasses. Go America. So we got the Keep On Truckin' t-shirts, which is pretty cool stuff. Just go to awakenotwokestore.com and then do CPAC 22. I'm wearing the Awake Not Woke shirt, which just so happened to be the theme of CPAC on accident for them. Can't wait for my lawyer to give them a quick ring. But anyways, moving on. Kevin, you've been gone for a while. What's up?
Dude, it's so nice to be back. It's about damn time. I've been busy as hell with school, so I appreciate the patience these last couple weeks. It's been brutal.
Well, not to make it like old times, but we're cutting you off, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to have an extreme amount of patience with Kevin. We've learned that.
Yo, he's
Look at
goddamn old, bro.
The sign language
Sorry,
lady's like,
Sydney, I
fuck
didn't
my
mean to
life.
offend you. Oh, you meant Joe Biden. Got it. Like,
Look
for real,
at
though?
him. He looks like my grandpa.
The sign language lady looks like she's the kind of person that celebrates when her 3-year-old uses the correct pronouns.
That looks like Jen Psaki's younger sister.
Her liberal cousin.
I don't think you had to say liberal. I think it's pretty obvious.
No, I mean, like, super lib.
There's not
Hi,
a lot
guys.
of people there.
This is way after my bedtime.
I bet she knows how to sign like white privilege better than any other person.
Okay,
They're not wearing
wait.
masks and they're not 6 feet apart.
So you guys, the drinking game. Every time you see something on the square or he says something, you got to drink. Take a shot.
What?
What did we miss?
That is correct.
Oh, the free space?
Oh,
Free space.
You're going to be
Well,
in charge.
I mean, one of the slots is
Alcohol.
Biden is late to the State of the Union, and it was supposed to start at 7, wasn't it?
So we got to take a shot? Is that what you're saying?
So the things we're drinking to, Biden gives Kamala credit for doing nothing. Biden doesn't mention the border crisis. So now it's kind of a long one. That means he can't mention it once. Biden mentions Obama. Biden tells an irrelevant story about his life. Biden talks about Delaware. Biden lies about inflation. Biden ignores crime. Awkward long pauses. Biden lies about COVID. Biden mumbles. Biden yells. Biden squints on camera. If he says "Let's go, Brandon" on accident, you got to drink. Democrats, you got to chug the rest of your drink. Who is even? Is that Mitt Romney? Of course, he's licking Mitt Romney's nuts.
I'm just going to
Look at
pour
Mitt
my
Romney.
drink.
Mitt Romney's like, ooh, I got to touch the president's hand.
I have to let Suni know. Hey, Suni, do you remember Super Bowl 50?
Man, fuck the Broncos.
I know Von Miller got himself another ring.
He's like, oh wait, this isn't mine. Oh, he's handing it. He's so fucking confused. Sorry, Nancy.
Ew, bro.
Nancy,
Hey,
rip
He's
it
like,
up.
what is this? He's like, what is this shit?
How can
Are we
you
doing
even
the
Members
do
starting
of
that?
late? The
Congress.
starting late square?
I
You
have
doing
the
that?
high
Yep.
privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Yay, she says.
I had to take a drink on that, guy. Sorry, that was hard.
Why do they have a sign language person there when people can just read captions?
Right.
We
Just
don't
don't
speak
read,
logic, Kevin. Stop it.
So we just
that
put
what
the link
captions
for
were
the
intended
link for
for?
the drinking game is back in the comment box right now if you guys want it.
Why are they clapping for him? Like, this is so fake, man.
I mean,
is.
furiously. They're just like,
It's one of the stupidest
Oh, he's
traditions we
doing
have.
such a
Thank you all
great
very much.
job.
Thank you, General. Thank you.
This is ridiculous. Where are the signs? Cheer. Audience.
Why are
Thank you all
conservatives
very,
cheering?
very much.
Why are the Republicans cheering?
Thank you.
Because they're a bunch of like pussies.
Please.
Oh, here we
Ryan,
go.
bro.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Madam
All
Speaker,
right.
Madam Vice President, our First Lady and Second Gentleman, members of Congress and the Cabinet, Justice of the Supreme Court, my fellow Americans. Last year,
always, we're
COVID-19
last.
kept us apart. This year, we're finally together again. Tonight,
He lied. I'm gonna be fucked up.
tonight we
Amanda.
meet as Democrats, Republicans, Independents.
Sorry, Nancy.
But most importantly, as Americans, with the duty to one another, to America, to the American people, to the Constitution, and an unwavering resolve that freedom will always triumph over tyranny.
Jesus. I'm just gonna drink because I'm sad.
And they're all clapping like this shit is true, bro. What the fuck?
Six days ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways. But he badly miscalculated. He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met
Oh my
the
God.
Ukrainian people.
Oh my gosh, bro.
And notice everybody.
They're
both
waving
sides.
flags. What is
The
this?
president,
Ukrainian flags? What?
their
Fuck Ukraine, bro.
every Ukrainian, their fearlessness, their courage, their determination, literally
Especially the ones
inspires
that helped
world.
your son out.
Groups of citizens blocking tanks with their bodies. Everyone from students to retirees to teachers turned soldiers defending their homeland.
Lies.
And in this struggle, President Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, light will win over darkness. Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world, Ukraine.
An unmistakable
Thank you.
signal.
He's forgetting that the 18 to 60-year-olds are
thank
forced
you.
to fight. By the way, just I mean,
He's forgetting that gender all of a sudden exists again when it's a time of war.
Yeah. Well, he's also lying, which means another one. But on top of that,
Oh, yeah.
the
Right.
other part is
Strong
you got to make
resolve.
sure they said boys and men.
Yep.
It's not their pronouns.
It's not penis havers and bullet takers. They said boys and men.
What?
Yes,
What is
we,
that?
the United
And
States,
it's a
of
woman.
America,
She's
stand
God.
with the
the
Ukrainian people.
yeah
Throughout our
representing
history,
Ukraine.
we've
Aren't
learned
Eastern
this
Europeans
lesson.
supposed to be hot?
When
Sorry.
dictators do not pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos. They keep moving. And the cost, the threats to America and America to the world keeps rising. That's why the NATO alliance was created.
Look at that
to
sign
secure
lady.
peace and stability.
Look
in
at her.
Europe after World War II.
Please note the pearl
The
necklace.
United States is a member, along with 29 other nations.
Disgusting,
It
man.
matters.
Please note that
American
sign
diplomacy
language lady.
matters.
She's like putting in an
American
Oscar-worthy
resolve
performance
matters.
there.
Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked. He rejected repeated
Lies.
efforts at diplomacy.
Yeah,
He
you
thought the
provoked
West
it,
and
you
NATO
idiot.
wouldn't respond. He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation.
Awkward hand motion.
He
God.
thought he could divide us in Europe as well.
Fuck.
But
I'm gonna
Putin
get
was
drunk.
wrong.
I know, right?
We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united.
Oh God.
Claims-
that's
Claims,
another
claims
tragedy.
were united.
Carefully.
Drink,
Oh.
drink,
United.
drink.
Another one.
Once coalition of other freely loving nations in Europe and the Americas, from America to the Asian
Woo.
and African continents.
This is about to be a horrible
Front
show
food.
because you guys are going to be drunk out of your
Like many
minds.
of you, I spent
That's why it's
gonna be
great.
You're our
You're
European
just
ally.
jealous.
We shared with the world in advance what we knew,
Oh, Democrats
And
coordinate outfits. Did
precisely
we drink
how
for
we
that?
would try to falsify.
They
and
coordinated their
justify
Ukraine
Well,
shit.
aggression.
does it count if
He
Republicans dress
countered
the
Russia's
same?
lies with the truth. And now that he's acted, the free world is holding him accountable, along with 27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy, as well as countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and many others, even Switzerland. are inflicting pain on Russia and supporting the people of Ukraine. Putin is now isolated from the world more than he has ever been. Together,
What are
No,
they
guys,
talking
stop
about?
standing. God, I
Stop.
hate this.
Stop.
You want to know what's wrong with our country? This is exactly it, right here. Every person.
God, look at
together
Maxine
along with our
Waters.
allies, we are right now enforcing powerful
Can we
economic
assume
sanctions.
Nancy Pelosi stood for
We're
that?
cutting off Russia's largest banks from the international financial system.
No,
Preventing
she just
Russia's
took a
central
shot.
bank from defending the Russian ruble,
Ah!
making Putin's
I'm drinking
$650
ruble.
billion
Take the shot.
war
Take the
fund
shot.
worthless. We're choking Russia's access.
Oh my God.
We're choking Russia's access to
up at
technology
the
that
end of
will
this
sap
shit.
its economic strength and weaken its military for years to come. Tonight, I say to the Russian oligarchs and the corrupt leaders who built billions of dollars off this violent regime.
Does this count as ignoring crimes
more.
if he doesn't mention like
The United
all the
States-
terrible shit they were doing to Eastern Ukraine? The Ukrainians
I
No
are.
mean
more.
it.
I mean it.
The United States Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, I'm announcing
Ill-begotten
that we will
gains.
join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding an additional
Wow.
squeeze on their economy.
Russians and the unvaccinated. What do we have in common?
That was good, Kevin.
He has no idea what's coming.
Yeah, because
Hey,
you don't
Kevin,
either.
Kevin, are you only calling out those countries because they're mostly white
The
people?
Russian stock market
That doesn't
lost
even
40%
affect
of its
Putin.
value,
That affects the
and
people.
trading remains suspended.
Is he ignoring the
Russian
crimes that are
economy
currently
is
being
reeling.
committed in
Putin
Yemen
alone
and
is the
Yes.
one to
Ethiopia
blame.
and Djibouti?
Together
in
with our
Afghanistan.
allies,
You just wanted a
providing
reason to
support
say
the
Djibouti.
Ukrainians and for
Djibouti.
fighting for
I love
freedom.
Djibouti.
Military assistance, economic assistance, humanitarian assistance. We're giving more than $1 billion of direct assistance to Ukraine, and will
Hey,
continue to aid
he-
Ukrainian
Bottom right
people
corner.
as they
Mention
defend
spending
their
money.
country and help
And he
ease their
mumbled.
suffering.
God damn, I'm almost on my third beer. Holy shit.
I'm on my
Maybe
fourth
a little
shot.
slower, guys.
I'm taking sips. It's not my
It's
fault.
his fault.
clear. Our forces are not engaged and will not engage in the conflict with Russian forces in Ukraine. Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west.
Oh, shut
For
up.
that purpose, we have mobilized American ground forces, air squadrons, ship deployments to protect NATO countries, including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And as I've made crystal clear,
He's been
United
squinting
States
at the
and our
camera
allies
forever.
defend
Not yet.
I
every
haven't
because of
seen
the
him take a
Botox.
shot.
territory that is NATO territory. With the
Like, you
full
can't tell if he's
force
squinting
of our
because that's like his
collective power.
natural eye
Every
like
single inch.
position
Oh.
now.
They
just
stand
yelled.
and they clap.
Ah.
Wait. For Nancy stands and claps. Pelosi stands and claps. Drink. Drink.
And we're
drink,
clear-eyed.
drink, drink,
Ugh.
drink,
Did he
drink,
just?
drink,
Did he
drink,
just?
drink, drink,
Seriously
drink.
though, did he
Courage.
just talk about
The
military
next few
force
days, weeks,
Yep.
and
in
months
Ukraine? Just
will
checking.
be hard on them. Putin has unleashed violence and chaos. But while he may make gains,
That's
on
what
the
I heard too,
battlefield,
Kelly.
he'll pay a continuing high price over the long run. And a pound of Ukrainian people, proud, proud people, pound for pound, ready to fight with every inch of energy they
A
have.
pound of Ukrainian
They've
people.
known
Energy?
30 years of
What
What is,
independence.
yeah, what the fuck
energy.
is he? Oh,
Have
God.
repeatedly shown that they will
Jesus
not
Christ,
tolerate
Biden.
anyone who tries to take their country backwards. To all Americans, I'll be honest with you. As I
Oh, he
always
finally is
promise
mentioning Americans.
a Russian dictator
Nope, never mind.
invading a foreign country has
Uh-oh.
cost around the world. And I'm taking robust action to make sure the pain
Yeah,
of our sanctions
sure.
is targeted at Russian economy, and that we use every tool at our disposal to protect American businesses and consumers. Tonight,
Lies.
I can announce the United States has worked with 30 other countries to release 60 million barrels of oil from reserves around the world.
That's like
America
3 days worth of oil.
will
I
lead
was
that
just about to
effort,
say, I'm like, so that gets us through like
releasing
Wednesday.
30 million
Thanks.
barrels of our own strategic petroleum reserve. And we stand ready to do more if necessary, united with our allies. These steps will help blunt gas prices here at home, but I know news about what's happening can seem alarming to all Americans. But I want you to know we're going to be okay.
Oh, he was.
Oh, he
When the history
whispered.
of this era is written, Putin's war in Ukraine will have left Russia weaker and the rest of the world stronger. Well,
Look, I don't know if I can. Sorry, Nancy. I might have to switch to
Well,
water
shouldn't-
soon. We're only a few minutes in. Jesus.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
while it shouldn't have taken. Well, it shouldn't have taken.
Notice the
something so
generals aren't
terrible
clapping,
for
by the
people
way.
around the world to see what's at stake. Now everyone sees it clearly. We see the unity among leaders of nations, a more unified Europe, a more unified West. We see unity among the people who are
What is
gathering
he
in
smoking?
cities
I want some.
and large
He's smoking
crowds
whatever
around
Hunter's
the world,
smoking is what
even
he's
in
doing.
Russia, to demonstrate their support for the people of Ukraine. In the battle between democracy and autocracies, democracies are rising to the moment, and the world is clearly choosing the side of peace and security.
Really?
This is the real test. It's going to take time. So let us continue to draw inspiration from the iron will of the Ukrainian people,
Oh,
to our fellow Ukrainian Americans who forged a deep bond that connects our two nations.
Here we go.
We stand with you. We stand with you.
Unless they're
Putin may
unvaccinated.
circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people.
Unless
He'll
you
never,
threaten them
he'll
with their
never
jobs
extinguish their
for
love of
not being
freedom,
vaccinated.
and he will never, never weaken the resolve of the free world.
No, you did a good enough job
That's
doing
not
that.
what the
though.
free world. What are you talking about?
Oh,
We
it's
need to
that
free
new
the
world.
world, Jimmy. We need Free Willy back. We need to do
We
that.
meet tonight in an America that has lived through two of the hardest
At
years
least
this
Madison
country has ever
Cawthorn didn't give
faced.
a standing ovation.
The pandemic, and so many families
That's
are living
bad.
paycheck to
You're an
paycheck,
ass.
struggling to keep up with the rising cost of food, gas, housing, and so much more.
Remember how much shit I got
understand,
last
like
time I
when
made a
you
joke
read
about someone in a
My
wheelchair?
dad had to leave his home in
What?
Scranton, Pennsylvania to find
Oh,
work.
wait. Was that on
So
there?
like many of you, I
Oh,
grew
no,
up with
he didn't
family
mention
when the
Delaware.
price of
No,
food
he
went up.
gave
It
a
was felt
personal
throughout the
story
family.
about his
yeah.
life.
It had an impact.
Yep.
That's one of the
Scranton.
first things I did as
That should have been on the
president
drinking game.
was fight to pass the American Rescue Plan
All right.
because
I'm
people
having a
were
water.
hurting. We needed to act, and we did. Few pieces of legislation
Oh,
have done
God.
Are you
more
taking a
to
shot every time,
our
Casey?
hate to lift us out of
Pretty
a
damn
recession.
close.
Oh my gosh.
Our
You're
efforts
going to
to
die.
vaccinate the nation to
I'm taking
combat
a shot every time of
COVID-19,
tequila.
delivered immediate economic relief to tens
I'm
of
drinking
millions of
shitty ass
Americans,
watered down Coors
to
Light.
help put food on the table. Remember those long lines of cars waiting for hours just to get a box of food put in their trunk?
I'm
cut
going to
the
probably
cost of healthcare
switch to
insurance.
beer in a minute.
And as my dad used to say, it gave the people just a little bit of breathing room.
Does that count as a separate
Unlike
story?
the $1 trillion tax cut passed in the previous administration that benefited the top 1% of Americans, the American Rescue Plan.
Shot.
The
You
American
mentioned it.
Rescue Plan
That's Build Back Better.
helped
Let's
working
go.
people
Yep,
and
let's
left no
go.
one behind. Folks, and it worked. It worked.
It did not work.
It worked. We created jobs, lots of jobs. In fact,
Oh,
our economy
he's
created
lying.
over 6.5 million new jobs just last
He's
year.
lying.
He's
More
not
jobs.
technically lying, though. He
In
did
one
No,
great.
they're
year
not. They do not qualify
than
as
ever
new jobs
before
if
in the
it's people
history of the
reassuming the
United
jobs
States
they
of
lost
America.
beforehand, which is
Okay.
almost
The
exclusively what it
economy
is.
grew at a rate of
Fair enough.
5.7 last year, the strongest growth rate in 40 years.
Oh my
The
God.
first step in bringing fundamental change to our economy that hasn't worked for working people in this nation for too long. For the past 40 years, we were told
Yeah, I'm going to switch to Kevin's
tax breaks for
method.
those at the
We'll
top
do
and benefits
every
would
other.
trickle down and everyone would benefit.
I got a beer and a shot.
But that trickle down theory led
Mo,
to a
why
weaker
are you
economic
sideways?
growth, lower wages, bigger deficits,
Who?
and a widening gap between
Mo.
the top
Nice.
and everyone else in nearly a century. Look, Vice President Harris and I ran for office, and I realize we had fundamental disagreements on this, but ran for office with a new economic vision for America. Invest in America, educate Americans, grow the workforce, Build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top down. Because we know. Because we know. Because we know when the middle class grows.
She's got fucking
Oh
African
my God, and
garb
she's
on,
standing and
bro.
clapping, drink,
do
clap.
very well. America used to have the best roads, bridges, and airports on earth. And now our infrastructure is ranked 13th in the world.
Out of
Won't be able to
200 and like
compete for the
20.
jobs of the 21st century if we don't fix it. That's why it was so important to pass the bipartisan infrastructure law. And I thank my Republican friends who joined to invest, rebuild America.
What I
The
miss.
single biggest investment in history. It was a
Is that sign
bipartisan
language
effort.
lady
I wanna
like
thank the
crying?
members of both parties who worked to make it happen.
Her arms
We're
hurt.
done talking about infrastructure weeks. We're now talking about an infrastructure decade.
Yeah, she's definitely not Italian. She does not have the
Look.
ability to be talking this much with her hands.
It's going to transform America, to put us on a path to win the economic competition of the 21st century that we face with the rest of the world, particularly China. I've told Xi Jinping it's never been a good bet to bet
was a
against the American people.
Mispronunciation.
We'll create
Xi
good
Jinping.
jobs for millions of Americans, modernizing roads, airports, ports, waterways, all across America. And we'll do it to withstand the devastating effects of climate change and promote environmental justice.
What's an infect?
We'll build a national network of 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Begin to replace the poisonous lead pipes so every child, every American has clean water to drink at home and at school. We're going to provide affordable, high-speed internet for every American, rural, suburban, urban, and tribal communities. 4,000 projects have already been announced. Many of you have announced them in your districts. And tonight, I'm
He
announcing that this
mispronounced
year,
the name.
we will start fixing over 65,000 miles of highway and 1,500 bridges in disrepair.
He was going to say 1 billion bridges.
And folks,
Whoa.
when we use taxpayers' dollars to rebuild America, we're going to do it by buying American. Buy American
What?
products.
How is that in
Support
his
American
plan?
jobs.
That's not in his plan at all.
The federal government spends about $600 billion a year to keep this country safe and secure. There's been a law on the
What?
books for almost a century that makes
It's
sure
like a
taxpayers'
trillion.
dollars support American jobs and businesses. Every administration, Democrat and Republican, says they'll do it, but we're actually doing it.
Are
We
you?
buy America to make sure everything from the deck of an aircraft carrier to the steel on highway guardrails is made in America from beginning to end. All of it. All of it.
He's lying.
Lies. I don't have enough.
Oh,
tequila
and Nancy
today.
stood up again.
But folks,
Jesus,
to compete
I don't
for
have enough
jobs
bingo squares.
of the future,
I don't have
we
enough
also need to level the
tequila.
playing field with China and other competitors.
Take one this
That's
time.
why it's so important to pass the Bipartisan Innovation Act sitting in Congress that will make record investments
this was a
in
bad
emerging
choice.
technologies
Dude,
and
I'm
American
about to puke.
manufacturing. We used to invest almost 2% of our
I'm going to be the most
GDP
sober one
in
here
research and
outside
development.
of SUNY.
We don't now. China is. Let me give you one example why it's so important to pass. If you travel 20 miles east of Columbus, Ohio, you'll find 1,000 empty acres of land. It won't look like much, but if you stop and look closely, you'll
Jesus
see
Christ.
a field of dreams.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Around
Holy
American people
Christ!
will be built.
What?
That's where Intel, the American company that helped build Silicon Valley, is going to build a $20 billion semiconductor mega site. Up
Good
to
for
8
them.
State-of-the-art factories in one place.
That's good.
10,000 new jobs. And in those factories, the average job about $135,000 a year. Some of those sophisticated
I'll take the
manufacturers in the world
$135.
make computer chips the size of a fingertip. the power of the world in everyday lives.
Just the tip, Joe.
From smartphones, technology, the internet, technology is yet to be
I'm
invented.
kidding.
But that's just the beginning. Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger was here tonight. I don't know where Pat is. Pat, there you go. Pat, stand up. Pat. Pat came to see me and he told me they're ready to increase their investment from 20 billion to 100 billion. That would be the biggest investment in manufacturing in American history. And all they're waiting for is for you to pass this bill. So let's not wait any longer. Send it to my desk. I'll sign it. And we'll really take off in a big way.
As long as you can promise you get rid of all the bullshit LGBT and social justice crap from it.
Intel is not alone. There's something happening in America. Just look around and you see an amazing story. The rebirth of pride that comes from stamping products made in America. The revitalization of American manufacturing. Companies are choosing to build new factories here when just a few years ago they would have gone overseas. That's what's happening. Ford is investing $11 billion in electric vehicles, creating 11,000 jobs across the country. GM is making the largest investment in its history, $7 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan. All told, 369,000 new manufacturing jobs were created in America last year alone.
Right.
Folks, powered by people I've met like JoJo Burgess from generations of union steelworkers in Pittsburgh, who's here with us tonight. Where are you, JoJo? There you go. Thanks, buddy.
He looks so freaking lost.
As Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown says.
Oh, Nancy, stop fucking standing up. I don't want to keep drinking.
Right?
As Sherrod Brown says, it's time to bury the label Rust Belt. It's time to see the what used to be called the Rust Belt become the home of a significant resurgence of manufacturing. And with all the bright spots in our economy.
What is he talking about?
Record job growth, higher wages. Too many families are struggling to keep up with their bills. Inflation is robbing them of gains they thought otherwise they would be able to feel. I get it. That's why my top priority is getting prices under control. Look, our economy roared back faster than almost anyone predicted. But the pandemic meant that businesses had a hard time hiring enough people because of the pandemic to keep up production in their factories. So you didn't have people making those beams that went into buildings because they were out. The factory was closed. The panic
Why was it closed, Joe?
the global supply chain.
Right.
Factories close. When that happens, it takes longer to make goods and get them to the warehouses, to the stores, and prices go up. Look at cars last year. 1/3 of all the inflation was because of automobile sales. There weren't enough semiconductors to make all the cars that people wanted to buy. And guess what? Prices of automobiles went way up, especially used vehicles as well.
Hey guys, I'm going to switch to C-SPAN. It's a better angle so you can see the facial reactions of Kamala and Nancy.
Cool. I think I have a better idea to fight inflation.
Should be
Lower
fine,
your costs, not your wages.
Lower costs? How do you lower costs when you're
By increasing gas prices, Timmy. That's how you lower costs.
That means make more cars and semiconductors in America, more infrastructure and innovation in America, more goods moving faster and cheaper in America, more jobs where you can earn a good
Switching
living
in 5,
in America.
4.
Instead of
Coming in hot.
You can't switch electronics jobs, semiconductors, electrical boards, or any of that to America. We cannot compete with China. Period. End of story.
Here we go.
It can't be done.
look,
Oh, yeah. Much better angle. Good call.
Yeah, better angle.
economists
right,
Wait, USA. I want to know who's saying this. Is it both
Stop
sides?
standing up, Nancy. Jesus Christ.
Call this
Notice
increasing
it's more
the productive
Democrats
capacity
than
of our
Republican
economy,
yelling
or our
USA.
economy. I call it building a better America.
Oh my God, he said it. He said the thing.
Fuck.
My plan to fight inflation will lower your costs and lower the deficit. 17 Nobel laureates in economics said my plan will ease long-term
Katie,
inflationary
it's for
pressures.
her own good.
Top business leaders, and I believe most Americans support the plan. And here's the plan. First, cut the cost of prescription drugs.
Trump did that already.
For real?
Yeah, you're the one that brought the cost up.
For the same
100%.
drug produced by the same
People are
company in America and any other country in the world.
Because of you.
1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. In Virginia, I met a 13-year-old
We're giving out
boy, the
donuts
handsome
for
young man
shots.
standing up there,
Yeah,
Joshua
Right.
Davis.
Exactly.
He and his dad both
Didn't
had
he,
type
like-
1
You know, it's a-
diabetes.
There's
Didn't
bars
want to
taking
try
out
insulin policies that
Trump
limited the
need
price?
insulin every single day. Insulin costs about $10 a month.
Bro.
I'm pretty sure he said no
They
to
really-
it
I
too,
just
and
wanna-
Trump's like $100
I'll
insulin.
I'll wait till
pharmaceutical
after.
company.
I'll wait till
But
after.
drug companies
They really just
charge families like
brought a
Joshua and his
plant
dad
that
up
has
to
type
30
1
times that
diabetes.
amount.
That really happened.
I spoke with Joshua's mom. Imagine
Yep.
what it's like to look at your child who needs insulin to stay healthy and have no idea how in God's name you're going to be able to pay for it. What it does to your family, but what it does to your dignity, your ability to look your child in the eye, to be
And
the
then she
parent
looks at
you
the
expect
fucking kid.
yourself to be.
He's
I really
squinting.
mean to think about
Joe
it.
Biden, you would know
That's
what
what
it's
I
like
think
to not have dignity looking your child
You
in the
know,
eye.
Yesterday, Joshua's here
Exactly.
tonight, but yesterday was his birthday.
He doesn't look them in the eye.
Happy
He
birthday,
sniffs.
buddy, by the way.
He sniffs and goes, you smell like Buddha today.
And
Some
200,000
days he smells
other
like
young
pepper
people
jack.
with type
Other
1
days it's Parmesan.
diabetes. Let's cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month. So everyone can afford it.
I'm just gonna be
Drug
honest.
companies will
This
do
sounds
very,
like Trump's
very
speech.
well.
This
Their
is
profit
actually
margin.
not just Trump's speech, Suni. It's what Trump actually
While we're at
did.
it,
Not
I know
making
we
a
have
plan.
great
He did it.
disagreements on this floor with this.
Right.
Let's let Medicare negotiate the price of prescription drugs.
What was that last bit?
Whoa.
Medicare negotiate the price of prescription drugs.
Okay, he said I couldn't understand what he
The
said.
Fed. Let's let the
Let
Fed
the
do it.
price for
Pretty much is what he
VA
said.
drugs.
Yep. Everything's so much
Look,
better when the
American
government
Rescue
does
Plan
it.
is helping millions of families with Affordable Care Act plans
Hashtag
to
trust
save them
government.
$2,400 a year on their health premiums. Let's close the coverage gap and make these
Hashtag
savings
ask a veteran about
permanent.
healthcare.
And second,
Motrin
Oh my
fixes
God, stop
everything.
it. Please don't
let's
stand.
cut
Nancy,
energy
please don't
costs
think
for
God.
families. An average of $500 a year by combating climate change. Let's provide an investment tax credits to weatherize your home and your business, to be energy efficient and get a tax credit for it. Double America's clean energy production in solar, wind, and so much more. Lower
How
the
about
price of
nuclear and we
electric
get rid of the
vehicles,
rest? Oh,
saving
God.
over $80
Whatever.
I want to do
Hey,
it.
Kevin, you think she's hot. You have no room to
Yep,
talk.
she's the hottest. I love AOC.
Third,
You're disgusting.
She's my
Kevin,
favorite.
I mean,
thing we
Kevin,
can do
you're
to change
disgusting.
the standard
Of course
living
I am.
For hardworking folks,
You
is
need
cut the
Jesus.
cost of childcare.
She was right. We just want to date her. God damn it! Sit down, Nancy. Shit.
Folks, if you're in a major city area, you pay up to $14,000 a year child care per child. I was a single dad for 5 years, raising 2 kids. I had a lot of help, though.
Didn't exactly do a bang up job.
A brother and a sister that really helped.
I
Kind
mean,
of failed.
I'm not asking working folks.
well, his wife
shouldn't
and
have to
daughter
pay
did
more
die.
than 7% of their
so.
income to care for the young children.
Yeah, but he didn't
My
fill in
plan-
great.
Right.
I mean,
My
both
That's
family
no
were good.
excuse for having a crackhead son.
Of child care
True,
in half
and
the
you
most
got to know
families.
he goes to bed at night being like, I wish it was Hunter and not Bo.
And help parents, including millions of women who left the workforce during the pandemic because they couldn't afford childcare, to be able to get back to work, generating economic growth.
There was
My
no
plan
work.
doesn't stop there. It also includes home and long-term care, more affordable housing, pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds.
More affordable housing?
All
How about
these
you
will
stop
lower
letting companies
costs
like
for families.
BlackRock buy all the property?
Under my plan, nobody.
Or solve
let
the
me say this again,
opioid
nobody
epidemic.
earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in new taxes. Not a single penny.
Lies. It'll come out every
100%
paycheck.
lies. 100% lies.
I mean,
may be
it's not necessarily a
wrong.
lie, but you're discounting
My guess is
inflation
we
and all
took
the
a
other
secret
stuff. But
ballot in this
yeah.
floor that we'd all
Creative
agree that
taxation.
The present tax system ain't fair. We have to
Ain't
fix
fair.
it. I'm not looking to
Present-
punish anybody. But let's make corporations and wealthy Americans start
Bro.
paying their fair share. Look,
Oh my God.
last year,
Pocahontas, of course.
Pocahontas.
last year,
Pocahontas. There she is.
God, they're all so old.
like Chris Coons and Tom Carper and my distinguished Congresswoman, we come from the land of corporate America. There are more
Yeah, you do.
corporations
We all know you
incorporated
do.
in America than
And
every other
corporate-
state in America combined.
That's not true. He never
And
has
I
had a
still won
business his
36
whole
years
entire
in a
life.
row.
He's never
The
worked.
point is, even they understand they should pay just a
He's
fair
talking
share.
about Burisma.
Last
Ukraine
year,
and China.
55
At
of the
least that's what
Fortune
you're saying.
500 companies earned $40 billion in profit and paid zero in federal taxes. Now look, it's not fair.
Why is that?
That's why I proposed a 15% minimum tax rate for corporations.
For what? What?
And that's why
50?
in the G7 and other
15.
meetings overseas,
Oh
we
my
put
God.
together, I was able to be somewhat helpful.
I was going to say, well, that way to kill all of business.
So companies can't get out of paying their taxes at home by shipping jobs and factories overseas.
Eliminate
It'll
corporations.
raise billions of dollars. That's why I propose closing loopholes for the very wealthy who pay a lower tax rate than a teacher and a firefighter.
Elon Musk paid
that's our plan,
$6.5
but we have a
billion
little more detail
in
later.
taxes.
We will grow the economy, lower the cost of families.
$6.5
So
billion.
what are we waiting for? Let's get this done. We all know we've got to make changes.
Look at his eyes. It's terrifying. Oh my God,
that
Nancy,
cause-
sit down.
Is that a whisper that we just heard?
I don't know.
But you did see Nancy Pelosi stand up and
While
cheer,
you're
drink
at it.
again.
I think we should take away that square.
That's a really.
Yeah.
Plays a
I'm
critical
pretty sure
role
I've gotten bingo
in
already.
fighting inflation. My plan will not only
I'm
lower
just drinking
costs and
anytime
give
it comes
families a
up.
fair shot. It will
I
lower
want to
the
know when he's going to
deficit.
get to anything with
The
substance.
previous administration not only ballooned the
No,
deficit with those
it's
tax
all
cuts for very
sophistry.
wealthy and
Hold on. What?
it undermined the watchdogs, the job of those to keep pandemic relief funds being wasted. Remember we had those debates about whether or not those watchdogs should be able to see every day how much money was being spent, where was it going to the right place? In my administration,
I can't tell where Kamala
Watchdogs
Harris
are
ends
back.
and the chair begins.
and we're going to go after the criminals who stole billions of relief money meant for small business and millions of Americans. Tonight, I'm announcing that the Justice Department will
Hold
soon
him to
name
this
a
promise.
chief prosecutor for pandemic fraud.
Pandemic fraud. Are we going to get Fauci for that too? Oh my
Right?
God, Nancy, sit down.
Sit down.
Seriously though,
man.
who told Kamala Harris? Yeah, wear a brown suit
I think we
on a
all
brown
agree.
chair.
Thank you. By the end of this year, the deficit will be down to less than half of what it was before I took office. The only president ever to cut the deficit by more than $1 trillion in a single year.
Because we spent
Lowering
like
your cost also
$8
meant
trillion
demanding more
last year.
competition. I'm a capitalist, but capitalism without competition is not capitalism.
No, you're right.
Capitalism
Let's
without
talk schools.
competition is exploitation. It drives up
Bro.
profits.
No, capitalism without competition is the government.
And corporations have to compete.
What
Their
about
profits
government?
go up and your prices go up when they don't have to compete. Small businesses and family farmers and ranchers.
Cocaine
I need not tell
Mitch.
some of
Look
our
at him. He
Republican
looks
friends from those
riled up.
states. Guess
Wow.
what? You got 4 basic meat packing facilities. That's it. You play with them or you don't get to play at all. And you pay a hell of a lot more.
You like
A
playing
hell
with
of a
people,
lot
Joe.
more,
We
but
know.
There's only 4. See what's happening with ocean carriers and moving goods in and out of America. During the pandemic, about
Oh,
half a
booty-
dozen
booty gang.
US foreign-owned
Booty
companies
gang.
raised prices by as much as 1,000% and made record profits. Tonight, I'm announcing a crackdown on those companies overcharging American businesses and consumers.
Did you say crack?
Folks,
He said
Oh my
crack.
God. Sit down, God. Can somebody put some glue on Nancy's chair, please? I'm tired of drinking for this.
And as Wall Street firms take over more nursing homes, quality in those homes has gone down and costs have gone up. That ends on my watch. Medicare is going to set higher standards for nursing homes and make sure your loved ones get the care they deserve and that they inspect and they will look at closely. We're also going to cut costs to keep the economy going strong and giving workers a fair shot, provide more training and apprenticeships, hire them based on skills, not just their degrees. Let's pass
Oh,
the
okay.
Paycheck
So
Fairness
burger
Act in
flippers.
80. Raise
What
the
he
minimum
did, he
wage
just
to
took another
$15
idea
an
from
hour.
Trump.
No,
And
100%.
extend the child
Trump
tax
promoted
credit
that from
so
the beginning.
no one has to raise the family of poverty.
I'm still here, Barbara. I
Let's
stepped
increase
away.
Pell Grants, increase our historic support for HBCUs, and invest in what Jill, our First Lady who teaches full-time, calls America's best kept secret.
Teaches
community
where?
colleges.
Right.
Look.
Teaches what?
Let's pass the PRO Act. When a majority of workers want to form a union, they shouldn't be able to be
Oh, I
stopped.
hate the way she fucking claps.
When we invest
she
in our
claps
workers and we
awkward.
build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out together, we can do something we haven't done in a long time. Build a better America. For more than 2 years, COVID has impacted every decision in our
Here we
life
go.
and the life of this
Pull up the
nation.
PR.
And I know
That's
you're
right.
tired,
Here comes the
frustrated,
memo.
and exhausted. That doesn't even count the close to 1 million people who sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table and look at an empty chair because they lost somebody.
Hey, Joe, do you remember when you blamed them all on Donald Trump?
Because of the progress we've made, because of your resilience and the tools that we have been provided by this Congress,
We
tonight
beat
I can
COVID.
say we're moving forward safely back to a more normal routine.
It's in the fucking memo.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Where severe
I
cases
fucking
are down
told
to a level
y'all.
not seen since July of last year.
He's literally reading it.
Just a few
Great
days
job.
ago, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention issued a new mask guideline. Under the new guidelines, most Americans and most of the country can now go mask-free. And based on projections,
They literally did that
based
yesterday.
on projections, more of the country will reach a point across the next couple
Oh,
of
there's a
weeks.
MILF if I ever saw
Thanks to
one.
the progress we've made in the
Really?
past year, COVID-19 really need control our lives. I know some are talking about living with COVID-19.
I
Oh, living
call it out.
COVID-19. There we go.
Kevin, no wonder why you're single in a
We'll
college
continue to combat
dorm
the
room.
virus as we do other diseases. And because this virus mutates and spreads, we have to stay on guard. And here are 4 common
I have,
sense
look.
steps as we
I
move
love
safely
my
in
sexy
life.
politicians.
First, stay protected with vaccines and treatments.
Just been
You know
Castro's
how
number 1 on my
incredibly
list.
effective vaccines
About to
are.
mute you.
If you're vaccinated and
Same.
boosted, you have the highest degree of protection. We'll never give up on vaccinating more Americans. Now, I know parents with kids under 5 are eager to see their vaccines authorized for their children.
Not sane ones.
Scientists are working hard to get that done. We'll be ready with plenty of vaccines if and when they do. We're all ready. We are also ready with antiviral treatments. If you get COVID-19, the Pfizer pill reduces your chances of ending up in the hospital by 90%.
And having kids.
Where are the
I've
studies?
ordered more pills than anyone in the
Okay.
world has.
Back
It
in
does
Pfizer is
exactly.
working overtime.
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
I
us
got
a
all probably
million
got it.
pills this month and more than double that next month. And now we're launching the Test to Treat initiative. So people can get tested at a pharmacy, and if they prove positive, receive the antiviral pills on the spot at no cost. Folks,
No.
Can we touch on the
stop
no cost real
standing.
quick? No cost? Wait a
If
minute.
you're
The American people are paying for it. There is a cost.
Where does
Right.
no
they're
cost come from? Yeah.
immunocompromised or have some other vulnerability, we have treatments and free high-quality masks. We're leaving no one behind or ignoring anyone's needs as we move forward. On testing, we've made hundreds of millions of tests available, and you can order them for free to your doorstep. And we've already ordered free tests. If you already ordered free tests tonight, I'm announcing you can order another group of tests. Go to covidtest.gov starting next week, and you can get more tests. Second, we must prepare for new variants. Over the past, we've gotten much better at detecting new variants. If necessary, we'll be able to develop new vaccines within 100 days instead of maybe months or years. And if Congress provides the funds we need,
What
we'll have
vaccine took
new
a year?
stockpiles of tests, masks, pills ready if needed.
The one that
I
wasn't
can't
tested.
promise a new variant won't come.
It didn't
But
even take
I
a year.
can
It took
promise
9
you,
months.
we'll do everything within our power to be ready if it does. Third,
Did he clear his throat? Is that something on there?
we can end the shutdown of schools and businesses.
Thank God, no.
We have the tools we need.
Biden clears his throat. Take a shot.
It's time for America to get back to work and fill our great downtown.
You just want a
again.
drink,
people,
Mo.
People working from
No,
home
it's on the
can
square.
feel safe
What?
and begin to return to their offices.
Biden clears his
We're
throat.
doing that here in the federal government.
Yes,
The
it
vast
is.
majority of federal workers
Sorry, Nancy.
will once again work in person. Our schools are open. Let's keep it that way. Our kids need to be in school.
Our kids need to be in school, but masks? Shut up, dude. Shut up.
With 75% of adult Americans fully vaccinated, population down 77%. Most Americans can move the mask and stay in the classroom and move forward safely. We achieved this because we provided free vaccines, treatments, tests, and masks. Of course, continuing this costs money, so I'll not surprise you. I'll be back to see you all. I'm going to soon send a request to Congress. The vast majority of Americans have used these tools and may want again. We may need them again, so I expect Congress, and I hope you'll pass that quickly. Fourth, we'll continue vaccinating the world. We've sent 475 million vaccine doses to 112 countries, more than any nation on earth. We won't stop.
By the way, that's your tax money, people. We're
It's also a lie.
everybody
Keep
around the world.
out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases. You know, we've lost so much in COVID-19. Time with one another. The worst of all, the loss of life. Let's use this moment to reset. So stop looking at COVID as a partisan dividing line. See it for what it is.
That's from the memo.
Stop calling me a
Oh.
disease piece of shit.
Oh, look at James Brown body double right there. Damn.
What is?
Here we are.
Who the fuck told everyone to wear brown on brown hairs?
Hey, it's Black Friday. It's Black Man. Black History. We gotta do it.
We can't change how divided we've been. It was a long time in coming. But we can change how to move forward on COVID-19 and other issues that we must face together.
They can't do it.
I recently visited New York City Police Department days after the funerals of
I'm getting
Officer
drunk off Coors
Wilbur
Light,
Mora
folks.
and
At what point do I tell
Officer
Kevin I've been
Jason
drinking water this whole time?
They were responding to a
I mean,
9/11
I
call
thought I
by
was
a
too.
with a stolen gun. Officer Moore was 27 years old. Officer Rivera was 22 years old.
Oh, gun control? Is that what's next?
Mexican Americans who grew up in the same streets that they later chose to patrol as police officers. I spoke with their families, and I told them that we were forever in debt for their sacrifices, and will carry on their mission to restore the trust and safety of every community deserves. Like some of you that have been around for a while, I've worked with you on these issues for a long time. I know what works. Investigating crime prevention and community policing, cops who walk the beat, who know the neighborhood, and who can restore trust and safety. Let's not abandon our streets or choose between safety and equal justice. Let's come together and protect our communities, restore trust, and hold law enforcement accountable. That's why the Justice Department has required body cameras, banned chokeholds, and restricted no-knock warrants for its officers.
That's a good
That's why
one.
the American Rescue Plan that you all provided $350 billion that cities, states, and counties can use to hire more police, invest in more proven strategies.
The
I'm
one
gonna
on
clap.
Red Oak
I'm
Warren.
gonna clap because I'm obligated
Proven
to.
strategies
Everybody
like-
else around me is doing it.
Proven strategies
That's
like
probably a
community
smaller,
violence interrupting
smarter option there,
trusted
Toronto.
messengers, breaking the cycle of violence and trauma, and giving young people some hope. we should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police.
What?
Oh, it's almost like
He's gonna be angry on that one.
Fund them.
Wait a
You gotta
minute.
know why he's saying that, because the memo went out about the same memo that went out about COVID went out about defund the police.
Fund them with
Really?
resources and training.
Yeah,
Resources and training.
just-
they
it was
need
harder
to
to get
protect
hands on
their
that one.
communities.
but I guarantee you it did.
I asked Democrats
All they care
and
about is polling.
Republicans alike to pass my budget and keep our neighborhoods safe. And we'll do everything in my power to
now?
crack down on gun trafficking, of ghost guns.
Oh, guns! Here we
to
go,
buy
guns.
online, assemble at home, no serial numbers.
Can
Safe to
anybody
trace.
tell me what a ghost gun
Ask
is?
Congress to pass proven measures to reduce gun
It's the
violence.
spirit of a fallen gun.
Pass universal
It kind
background
of
checks.
spooks you in the middle of the
Why
night.
should anyone
Okay, that was
on
actually
the
fun.
terrorist list
yeah,
be
Catholic
able to purchase a weapon?
Ask him
Why?
if somebody should ask him. Is it okay that the Ukrainians have
You
guns?
guys are like the worst people to watch this with, and I'm pretty sure you'd speak through a movie.
And assault weapons with high capacity magazines hold up 100
That's all
Good
rounds.
show.
You think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests? Look,
No, but the
repeal
Russians
the
are.
liability shield. It makes gun manufacturers the only industry in America that can't be sued. The only one.
And pharmaceutical. Let's not forget
Right.
about that.
Imagine
You
had
know?
we done
Good
that
Exactly.
with tobacco manufacturers. These laws don't infringe on the Second Amendment. They save
Yes, they do.
lives. The most
Now that
fundamental right
I'm not
in
gonna-
America is the right to vote
You know.
and have it counted. And look, it's under assault. In state after state, new laws have been passed. Not only to suppress the vote, we've been there before, but to subvert the
Yeah.
entire election. Can't let this
Subvert?
happen.
Whoa!
Tonight I call on the Senate.
So I'm just going to keep on writing.
Pass the Freedom to Vote Act. Pass
my
the John
God.
Lewis Act, Voting Rights Act.
Oh Lord, have
And
mercy.
while you're at it, pass the Disclose Act so Americans know who's funding our election. Look, tonight, I like to honor someone who dedicated his life to serve this country. Justice Breyer, an Army veteran, constitutional scholar, retiring Justice of the United States Supreme Court.
And
Justice
ice cream
Breyer,
manufacturer.
Thank you for your service. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No,
I mean it.
Thank you for filling me in with an unqualified 51-year-old alt-left black woman. Thank
Black
you very
woman.
much, because that's,
You
you know,
just
that's
should've-
perfect.
oh no,
Oh,
oh
no.
please, oh no, oh no.
No matter what your
Justice Breyer,
opinion,
you
we
could have
all know
not
one
gone.
of the most serious constitutional responsibility a president has is nominating someone to serve
He's so
on the
gay.
United States Supreme Court. As I did 4 days ago, I've nominated the Circuit Court of Appeals, Ketanji Brown Jackson, one of our nation's top legal minds.
No, one of the
Continue to
worst
justify
legal
Justice
minds
Breyer's
because they're very biased and they
Legacy
don't
of
actually
excellence.
read the Constitution.
Yup.
a former top litigator in private practice, a former federal public defender, from a family of public
shit.
school educators and police officers. She's a consensus builder. Since she's been nominated, she's received a broad range of support, including the Fraternal Order of Police.
I
and
must have
former
missed
judges
that.
supported by Democrats and Republicans.
Is that true?
Folks, if we're to
I don't
advance
think- I
liberty
don't
and
know.
justice,
100% no.
we need to secure our border and fix the immigration system.
Oh, he actually talked about it. Don't drink.
Oh Jesus.
Can't stand his ass.
Fuck you, Ted. Fuck you, Ted.
I'm surprised he was able to make it. This is usually his
might
like
guess, I think we
molting
can
season,
do
you know,
both.
when he sheds off that skin of his.
At our border, we've installed new technology like cutting-edge scanners to better detect drug
What are
smugglers.
scanners gonna
We've set up
do?
joint patrols in Mexico and Guatemala to catch more human traffickers. We're putting in place dedicated immigration judges in significant larger number so families fleeing persecution and violence can have their cases heard faster, and those who don't legitimately hear can be sent back.
She's tweeting.
We're securing commitments
Right.
and supporting partners in South and Central America to host more refugees and secure their own borders. We can do all this while keeping lit the torch of liberty that has led a generation of immigrants to this land, my forebears and many of yours. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those with temporary status, farm workers,
Trump did that.
essential workers.
Just
Revise our
Sit
laws.
down.
Just as a heads up, she was given a positive assessment. She was not given a
It's not only the
sponsorship or
right thing
whatever
to
he
do,
said.
it's economically smart thing to do. That's why the immigration reform is supported by everyone from labor unions to religious leaders to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Let's get it done once and for all.
Let's go, Brandon.
He yelled.
Folks,
Please let it end.
advancing
I
liberty
know.
and justice also requires protecting the rights of women. The constitutional right
Here we
affirmed
go.
by Roe v. Wade.
Here we go.
Sunni precedent for half a century
Abortion.
during attack is never
Sunni for
enforced.
president.
If you want to go
Sunni for
forward, not
president
backwards,
in
we
the
must
comments.
protect access to health care,
19.
preserve a woman's right to choose, and continue to advance
No!
maternal health
You don't get to
care
choose to
for
fucking
all
murder your kid.
Americans.
Sorry.
Nope. Hey, if you didn't know we jumped right from Black History Month to Women's History Month, that's on
For
you.
LGBTQ plus Americans,
She looks happy.
let's finally get
Hold
the
up.
Bipartisan Equality Act to my desk.
Why do you think she's
Onslaught
not
of
clapping?
state laws targeting transgender Americans and their families. Red letters to our transgender Americans. I'll always have your back as your president.
Bet
so
you do,
can be
perv.
yourself and reach your God-given potential.
Oh, God.
As I've just demonstrated,
Make
while
sure you guys
often
look up the
appears we
Equality
do not
Act.
Agree,
Yup.
and that we do agree on a lot more things than we acknowledge.
No, we don't.
I signed 80 bipartisan bills into law last year. From preventing government shutdowns,
I didn't see that. I missed it.
protecting Asian Americans from still too common hate crimes, to reforming military justice, and will soon be strengthening the Violence Against Women Act that I first wrote 3 decades ago.
Violence against women?
It's important.
Oh
It's
my
important for us
God.
to show.
That's funny.
To show
Oh,
the
not that
nation
one.
We can come together
Where'd
and
it go?
do big things.
Jesus
Tonight I'm
Christ,
offering a
man.
unity agenda for the nation. 4 big things we can do together, in my view. First, beat the opioid epidemic.
Cool.
There's so much
Hunter's
that's the-
screwed.
we can do.
Yeah.
Increase
Forget about
funding
crack,
for
though.
prevention, treatment,
Yeah, it's not an
harm
opioid technically.
reduction, and recovery. Get rid of.
Do you think they like
outdated rules
practice
and stop
squats
doctors
leading up to this?
and stop
She's
doctors
wearing?
from
It's like
prescribing treatments. Stop the flow of illicit drugs by working with state and local law enforcement to go after the traffickers.
But hand out
If
crack
you're
pipes.
suffering from addiction,
You're giving out free crack
you
pipes.
should know you're not alone. I believe in recovery, and I celebrate the 23 million Americans in recovery. Second, let's take on mental
What have you
health,
done, Biden?
especially among
Who
our
is
children whose lives
Speaking of a crack pipe.
education have been turned upside down. American Rescue Plan gave schools money to hire teachers and help students make up for lost learning.
Recovery
I urge
program
every
after this.
parent.
Lost learning that
Make
you're
sure your
responsible
school-
for.
Your
Got
school
it.
does just that. They have the money.
That tickled Sunni.
We can all play a part. Sign up to be a tutor or a mentor. Children were also struggling before the pandemic. Bullying, violence, trauma, and the harms of social media. As Francis,
And the harms of a
who's here
lockdown that
tonight
keep
with us,
you from
has
your
shown,
friends.
we must hold social media platforms accountable for the national experiment they're conducting on our children for profit.
Are you
What?
kidding me?
What? What is he talking
What
about?
is he talking about?
Folks,
Wait.
What is he talking about?
thank you.
No idea.
Thank you for the courage you showed.
Who is she?
It's time to strengthen
I don't know, but her
privacy protection. Ban
scarf
targeted
blended in with the
advertising to
wall.
children. Demand tech companies stop collecting personal data on our children. And let's get all Americans the mental health services they need. More people can turn for help and full parity between physical and mental health care if we treat it that way in our
What
insurance.
is he
What is he
talking
talking
about?
about?
Look,
The mental gymnastics that are going on right now? I don't even
the third
understand.
piece of that agenda is support our veterans.
Wow, last.
Veterans are the
After
backbone
you-
But not least.
and the spine of this country. They're the
Jesus
best
Christ.
of us.
Yes, let's also get rid of their
I've always
benefits if they don't
believed-
take a shot.
We
Right.
have a sacred obligation to equip those we send to war and care for those and their family when they come home. My administration is providing assistance in job training, housing, and now helping lower-income veterans get VA care debt-free.
What's wrong with
And our troops
Nancy's
in
mouth?
Iraq
It started to all of a sudden
and
like,
Afghanistan face many
Yeah.
dangers.
Like she's got
One
Bell's
being
palsy.
stationed at
She's
bases
like,
breathing in toxic smoke from burn pits.
what?
Many of you have been there.
why is she
I've
so
been in and out
excited?
of Iraq and Afghanistan over 40 times. These burn pits that incinerate waste.
What the
The
hell
waste of war.
is he
It's
talking
like
about?
it's a
and
serious source
hazardous
of cancer
material,
right
jet
now.
fuel, and so much more. And they come home. Many of the world's
Nancy,
fittest
stop
and
talking.
best trained warriors in the world. Never the same.
She looks too
Separate
happy
your
about
hands.
this.
Numbness, dizziness. A cancer that would put them in a flag draped coffin. I know.
That's how he left his son.
What
Somebody
just
just
happened?
said something.
Yeah, his
What just
ass.
happened?
What just got said?
Was my son, Major Bo Biden.
That's what
I
he
don't know
said.
for sure if the burn pit that he lived near, that his hooch was near.
Ooh.
in
Personal
Iraq
story?
and earlier than that. in
Personal story. Is
Kosovo,
that a shot?
is the cause of his brain cancer, the disease of so many other troops. But I am committed
It was pretty
Personal
tragic
to
what happened
find
to Bo.
out everything we can. Committed to military families like Danielle Robinson from Ohio,
He did say
the
hooch.
widow of Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson.
Well, that's what it's called. It's called
He
the
was
hooch.
born a soldier, Army National Guard, combat medic in Kosovo and Iraq, stationed near Baghdad, just yards from burn pits the size of football
Who's that
fields.
lady?
Danielle is
The
here
wife.
with us tonight.
Gold Star.
They love
She doesn't
going
look
to Ohio
impressed.
State football games.
She doesn't look happy to be there.
No, not at all. She's like, I got $250,000 to pretend like I liked our
We
president.
love building
Yep.
Legos with their daughters.
1,000,000%.
But cancer from prolonged exposure to burn pits ravaged Heath's lungs and
Yeah, I
body.
know. I like Trump better too.
Danielle says
My
Heath
husband
was a
died, and I
fighter
got
to
to
the
be
very
used as
end.
a political pawn.
He didn't
Look at
know
me.
how to stop fighting, and neither did she. Through her pain, she found purpose to demand that we do better. Tonight, Danielle, we are going to do better. The VA,
You're not. You're sending more troops over
the
there.
VA is
Fuck outta
pioneering
here,
new
bro.
ways of linking toxic exposure to disease, already helping more veterans get benefits. And tonight, I'm announcing we're expanding eligibility to veterans suffering from 9 respiratory cancers. I'm also calling on Congress to pass a law to make sure
She
veterans
knows this is
devastated by
bullshit.
toxic exposure in Iraq and Afghanistan finally get the benefits of the
Why is
comprehensive
Nancy
healthcare
standing?
Why has this not already been done decades ago? Like, how is this even
Because
still
they-
an issue?
What's wrong with her
They
mouth?
don't actually care about veterans.
Well, I knew
We are
that.
pawns in the game, as is the wife that he just showed up. She's just a
Dude,
pawn.
Nancy's got like a
And
total
fourth
Joker
and
smile.
last, let's end cancer as we know it. This is personal.
You can't even fucking spell cancer. Sorry, Nancy.
Right.
This is painful. I don't think there's been that many lives because there hasn't been any actual
This is
substance.
personal,
It's just
me,
been
Jill, and to
fibs,
Kamala,
shit, and
and so many of you.
bullshit. We'll talk about it when it's
So
over.
many of you have lost someone you love.
Is that
Husband,
soon?
wife,
Because
son, daughter, mom,
I
dad.
can't.
Cancer is the number 2 cause of death in America, second only to heart disease. Last month, I announced the plan to supercharge the cancer moonshot that President Obama asked me to lead 6 years ago.
Oh, he mentioned Obama. There we go.
Oh,
Cancer death
Jesus
rates
Christ. Here
by
we
at
go.
least 50% over the next 25 years. I think we can do
Oh.
better than that. Turn
Woo.
cancer
I'm impressed he hasn't
from
slammed
death
Trump that
sentences
much
into
yet.
treatable diseases.
I've gotten bingo about
More
7
support for
times. I don't know
patients
about
and
you
their
guys.
families.
Oh, I'm feeling
To get
very
there,
bingo
call
right
on
now.
Congress to fund
I
what
I lost
call
count.
ASA H. Advanced research projects.
I'm on my 6th beer, and we're
Agency
like
for Health,
an hour into this.
patterned after DARPA and the Defense Department. Projects that led in DARPA to the internet, GPS, and so much more to make our
DARPA is
forces more
garbage.
safer and be able to wage war.
DARPA does
more
some wild
clarity.
stuff that we have
Mhm.
never
will
seen.
have a
I don't
Very
know, man.
dangerous stuff
To
too.
drive
It's pretty
breakthroughs in
terrifying.
cancer, Alzheimer's, and
I'll tell you a
diabetes,
ghost story.
and more. A unity agenda for the nation. We can do these things. It's within our power. And I don't see a partisan edge to any one of those 4 things.
Look at Joe
My fellow
Manchin. Holy
Americans,
shit.
Tonight, we've gathered in this
He doesn't
sacred
want to be
space,
there.
Please grab a flask.
the citadel of democracy, in this capital.
I'll be back. I have to
Generation after
pee.
generation of Americans have
Where's the
victory,
flask? I thought
I
that
won't
was
be far
involved.
behind.
and have done great things. We fought for freedom, expanded liberty, debated totalitarianism and terror. We built the strongest, freest, and most prosperous nation.
Mitt Romney's
of
having a
assets.
wet dream watching him.
Now is the hour.
It's like I should have been president.
Our
He's
moment of
sitting there like, Joe, you make me
responsibility.
hard as a rock.
Our test of resolve and conscience.
What do you
History
work for
itself.
Chevy?
It is in this moment that our character of this generation is formed. Our purpose is found. Our future is forged. Well, I know this nation.
Shifty
We'll meet
shift.
the test. Protect freedom
That's
and
a
liberty.
beautiful man. He looks like
Expand
a
fairness and opportunity.
poorly
And we will
circumcised
save
wiener.
democracy. As hard as those times have been, I'm more optimistic about America today than I've been my whole life because I see the future that's within our grasp. Because I know there's simply
Moscow
nothing
Mitch.
beyond our capacity.
He looks
God,
like
he's
a
the
second
only
sleeve of
nation on
Thin
earth that
Mints.
has always
He is
turned
just
every
so
crisis we
excited.
faced
Every time I
What a
see
freaking joke.
The only nation that can be defined by a single word, possibilities. So on this night, on our 245th year as a nation, I've come to report on the state of the nation, the state of the union. And my report is this: the state of the union is strong because you, the American people, are strong.
So for
245th
245th nation,
stronger today than we were a year ago.
do you have to take his shoes off the count?
And we'll be stronger a year from now.
Just wondering.
He's yelling.
This is our moment
Fuck.
to meet and overcome
Sorry,
the challenges
Nancy.
of our time. And we will, as one people, one America, the United States of America. God bless
Oh
you
my
all,
gosh.
and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
May God protect
Go
our
get
troops from
him.
what? Are you sending them somewhere?
Did he really just say go get him?
Oh, well, guess our troops are going to fucking Ukraine.
Crap.
We'll leave this in just a minute. We'll watch him do his victory lap.
All right. Well, that was a shit show.
It's a victory lap.
Well, that's what he's going to do. He's going to go around and shake a whole bunch of people's hands.
Yeah, we won't go too far into it. Oh, there's a
Fucking
woman I
What
can't
a
stand.
dick.
God. You know what?
So
I
I
don't even
have
remember
a
her
cool
name.
video. I got a cool
Have you
video.
guys
I wanna know
seen
what- I
Elizabeth
wanna-
Warren?
We just saw her not too long ago.
Okay, good. I didn't catch it.
Who's
Oh,
that?
okay, yeah.
Elizabeth
Yeah,
Warren?
she was in the audience. She was in the audience.
Okay.
Let's see some of the initial reactions, then we'll leave it alone. Oh, there's what's his face. Good job. Good job.
That was
Oh, yeah.
the worst State of the Union I've ever seen in my life. I'm so.
Oh, that's funny.
drunk.
I concur.
That's a good comment. Stock of Ben Gay just went up watching them get up and down.
Shit.
All right, 30 more seconds of whatever the. Oh yeah, he's bringing the hand in, kind of like Trump did to Putin. All right.
Whee!
Anybody notice is he using hand sanitizer or no?
Yeah. Anybody notice that all of a sudden 4 days ago everybody would have had to have been masked and like covered up like blind sheep, and now there's they've completely done a complete 180. Such a joke. 2 weeks ago, people couldn't, visit certain loved ones without a mask, face shield, condom, 18 different things on. All right, this is good.
That was bullshit.
What's
All right, let's
what's the name of that general again? What's his name?
Millie?
Yeah, it's
Millie. That
Millie,
is
Thank you.
that is Mark A. Millie, and he is a total sack of crap.
Yep.
Total loser.
You can tell us.
Speaking of sack of crap, there's Maxine Waters. That's literally the poop emoji.
Dude.
No, you literally. That's what she looks like.
Does she not
she's
look like
wearing brown?
Oh my
Does she
God,
not
we got a penguin. Look at her. Look at the penguin.
She looks like James Brown body double, right? Does she not?
I feel like putting purple in your hair is a dead giveaway that you are officially a leftist.
Right.
Yes.
I love they're making the security guy wear a mask. Is this real life? Oh,
Well, he's not a real person, so of course he's got to wear a mask. He's a lesser
Jesus.
man.
I can't. All right, let's get out of this crap.
My face is fucking numb.
I'm sure it is. Well, folks.
Oh man, that's so bad.
So I was like trying to keep up and like make points and stuff, and I just gave up because I was like, everything this man is saying is a lie.
Well, it's not that,
Everything.
I don't think it was even a lie. There was nothing. There was no substance. There was no. I mean, there was a bunch of little itty bitty fib lies. But sorry, Lori, I did not mean that about your hair. I was just making a joke, an assessment. You're an exception that makes it a rule. I mean, I don't think if you fact checked it, I think it wouldn't have had more than 20. There was a lot of things that are unproven.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? Here's what it is, and I'll let you guys talk because I thought that was just unreal. Fluffy and fake. That reminded me of a high school student council running for president speech to give the State of the Union. There was nothing like, this is what we're going to do next year. This is what we're going to do. This is what my plan is. I promise to, I will do, I can do. It's not really a lie yet, because he hasn't actually not done it yet. He's saying that he can't. There was nothing talking about the successes of his first year. Why?
Right.
Because there are no successes of his first year. So ultimately, there wasn't a ton of lies because it was more just empty promises. That's what I would describe that speech as. Empty promises.
I agree.
The way I look at it, it was a great speech for the normal person, for the normie, if the Democrats are aiming this at getting the average person who doesn't pay attention to politics to support their positions again, this was a great speech because all he did was a bunch of platitudes, a bunch of sophistry, like you said, no substance. To me, it's worrying because like a dumb blue-pilled person who doesn't actually pay attention is going to hear that and be like, look at everything's great. And
agreed.
My statement is, let's go, Brandon.
Yep. Suni, how'd you feel after that one?
Yeah, Suni, go ahead.
I mean, he's a liar.
Yeah.
Most of what he said has already been done, which he undid. He's just a liar. There's not, like Russo said, there's not really much to fact check outside of, I do have a cool fact check on his talking about we need to fund the police. Well, he was running. He said he wanted to defund them. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Right.
I have that clip. I'm waiting for it to post. But he's full of shit, man. And that's just it. There's nothing else to say about him besides he's full of shit.
Suni, so he also said, like, what did you think of him trying to jump ahead of the Voting Rights Act race, like the bullshit that's going to come with that by trying to preempt saying no to the Voting Rights Act as a way to subvert the elections. Like he preempted.
That was crazy to me to say that we're undermining the election, which is what that really means. They have the right to go vote like everyone else.
I don't get that either. I don't get it.
You need an ID. Well, you need an ID for everything. So what's the big deal?
Do you guys know which voter demographic has the highest representation proportional to their percentage of the population?
What is it?
Take a wild guess.
I would say
it's more than anybody else.
African American?
Oh, ding, ding, ding. We've got a winner.
Wow.
Interesting. That's fascinating.
Somehow black people vote at a higher rate than any other ethnic group in our country.
And go ahead and play this, but I want to know when they are actually going to bullet point what is so wrong about our current system of voting. The way that we they're just going to keep saying this rhetoric about how it's racist and horrible, and how there's this disproportionate inability to vote if you're a minority without ever giving a reason why. It is absolutely mind-boggling that people eat this shit up. Go ahead and play it, Suni.
Able to have transparency, be able to have access to the records of police when they have misconduct charges against them, to be able to know where they are so they can't go from one police department to the next. That should be held in my administration. That information will have to be made available to the Justice Department and held in a file so you'll be able to track this. Surplus military equipment for law enforcement. They don't need that. The last thing you need is an up-armored Humvee coming into a neighborhood. It's like the military invading.
They don't know anybody. They become the enemy. They're supposed to be protecting these people. So my generic point is
But
that
can we agree that we can redirect some of the funding?
What the fuck is that?
yes, absolutely. And one of the things that we also need to be doing is fundamentally changing the way, and I've been
All right,
pushing
that
it
was
for
rude.
years,
Who is
changing the
interviewing
way
Biden?
we deal with our prison system. It should be a rehabilitation system, not a punishment system.
Tell that to the 1994 crime bill victims. All right. Tell that to the people that you said were beyond the pale, that Hillary Clinton said were super predators. I
Yup.
have a great memory,
Yup.
bro.
You forgot a group.
He literally just said, should we redistribute the wealth? What did Biden say today? We don't need to defund. We need to fund. This is
Right.
what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
this shit
Again,
right
telling
here.
you, following there was a similar memo that went around about defund the police that went around about COVID. I promise you, there were rumors of it. They just didn't let it leak.
So there's
So Sony, you forgot a group. All of the people that have a right to a speedy and fair trial from January 6th. You have missed every single one of them.
That's true.
And every single one of them deserve that right.
and one just committed suicide this week.
Yep.
Mhm.
Also, talking about guns, how about this one?
Oh,
Yeah.
I found that out the other day.
Yeah, no, I it's, but it, you know, and it's, of course, he's not the one that said that, right? Obviously, but it also comes up. It's like, you guys are you spent the first 10 minutes of your State of the American Union address talking about Ukraine, and then you talked about gun control later on. Maybe the people need guns to fight off these governments that continue to do heinous shit.
Well, even worse, what's happening in Ukraine is almost comical. It would be like giving a bunch of non-gun owners that have maybe owned a pistol their whole entire life. They're giving them AK-47s and more hardcore rifles that they don't even know how to use. Like
Yeah.
it's and there was a really valid video that I watched earlier that made a lot of sense from a guy that lives down there. He's like, Let me ask a question. If Russia is making sure that their military is not killed by people, they're going to try to disarm the weapons. They're going to try to destroy the weapons. Does it make sense for Ukraine's government to put weapons in the middle of civilian run areas, neighborhoods? Because that's why you're getting casualties. They're giving them these weapons, and Russia is like, well, got to blow up that place. Not that it's okay. It's effed up what Putin and Russia is doing, but at the same time, like, if you're going to make sure your military is safe, why are you putting the citizens at risk? By the way, does anybody know who's doing the rebuttal? Because I heard it wasn't a Republican. I heard it was a far leftist, is what I heard.
Oh, that would be hilarious, because that's perfect to divide their base. Because the best way to attack Joe Biden, if you're on the right, is to separate him from the base that he has done absolutely nothing to cater to. The no student loan repayment, no debt repayment, no like any of the stuff that the AOC caucus was looking for has been achieved.
Caucus. What were you saying, Tuni?
Sorry.
I don't even know. I have no
Hey,
clue.
the rebuttal. I think you're about to say something about the rebuttal. No,
I don't remember. I'm
I
sorry.
gotta look. Oh, no, you're good. I gotta look who the rebuttal is. He's still making his victory lap. If you're wondering, I'm watching. On the
No,
side.
my big thing with this,
Seriously?
the take from this is, if everybody wants to look at this and know what we're doing, this is pandering. This is what the government is going to do to get your buy-in and your support, and they hit every key point that we have right now.
Mhm.
Every key point. If you don't recognize that, you need to go back and look at every key point. That's it. Period.
Okay, you guys are gonna shit on who is giving the rebuttal.
Is it AOC?
I'm
It's
going to the
it's
bathroom.
Rashida Tlaib.
To leave.
Oh my god.
God, they fucking hate Joe Biden. They hate Joe Biden. That's wonderful. Oh my god.
This is the headline of the article in New York Post.
Oh.
Dems liken squad member Tlaib's State of the Union rebuttal to keying your own car.
Oh my god. This is gonna be a bloodbath in the midterms, because they are losing that radical leftist.
Yep.
sector.
He should have never said we need to fund the police. He fucked up when he said that. I was like, whoa, it's a wrap.
Those are good.
Does anybody know the big states on what their primary date was? Is it just Texas today?
Yeah,
I
I
believe
think there
so.
might have been another one. So in Texas news, I already messaged on the side to Mo as another Texan, but it appears as though Governor Abbott won
Yeah,
pretty
Abbott
handily.
won. Abbott
Pretty
won.
handily.
Yeah, handily.
Beto O'Rourke did 91.5%, showing that
Well,
there is nobody else in the Democratic Party running for governor.
Stop.
Dan Patrick's at 77.8%.
The sports guy?
What about Pennsylvania?
Not
Wow.
that guy. No.
No, not Dan.
What were you looking for,
PA.
Casey?
PA, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I haven't looked at Pennsylvania.
That
Ken
will
Paxton won the
involve Dr.
GI.
Oz.
Oh yeah, how did he? Is that already happening today?
I'm wondering today. I got to look that up. I'll check it now.
All right, so let's see. All right, there's 2 rebuttals. Who's the other rebuttal?
They'll have a Republican rebutting, but like it's very important to point out that Rashida Tlaib is providing the rebuttal. The one thing that the Democrats have been hoping for is that they were going to maintain that support of the radical leftist base, but I've like no, they're not. There's a bloodbath within the Democratic Party coming up that's going to feed straight into the midterms because they've done nothing. Because at the end of the day, the platform that the squad stands on is so terrible that you cannot entertain it in a time like what we're in right now.
Yeah. Watching conservatives even entertain anything coming out of his mouth and clap on occasion, even if it was rare, is just that same adage that we've had in the beginning and what we talk about all the time, that the Republicans and the Democrats don't care. They literally are 2 wings of the same corrupt ass bird. All right. So let's get into it, guys. I think we're good on the State of the Union. If people pop up questions, maybe we'll bring them up. Let's get into Russia, Ukraine. Suni,
yes.
Since you led me into the fire of more logic and truth on this one, I'm gonna let you lead it off.
Let's go.
So look, this was a massive, I'm going to use our own words, misinformation campaign, right? To get people really, pretty much what they did was they said, hey, let's tug at your heartstrings so you don't really pay attention to what's going on and you don't even try to research the history. There's a long, lengthy history between Russia and Ukraine. Just to put it simple, this is a fight against globalists. It has to do with us being occupying a country, which is honestly, they're really poor as far as their economy and their government goes. It's shitty. It's corrupt there. And we're taking advantage of that by offering them promises that we don't intend to keep, right? And when Russia comes in and they're like, all right, I want these 2 regions because they voted on their independence, Ukraine is like, U.S., can you come help? And the states are like, nah, we can send you weapons though. I'll put some people at the border to help your refugees, but I'm not going to help you right here. That's what's happening. And everyone is, I'm pro Ukraine. Why? Putin's bad. Why is Putin bad? Can anybody tell me?
Well, I mean, he's a communist leader. I do think Putin is bad, but Casey, go ahead.
No, that's my big thing is Putin wants to be able to show his strength, but he wants to take advantage of the opportunity to be pushing more people to NATO to where you could create 2 divides. You have Russian side and then the US side. And when you do that, you're going to create what you call New World Order. But I struggle with the name. I don't know what it's called, but overall, you're going to create one world versus another world, and we're going to clash at some point. As soon as you create that, all hell lets loose at that point.
I've got the video right here.
Close.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Here, so this is, like I said, the question becomes, who benefits from this conflict? Because that'll tell you who the major players in any event are. You always have to ask, who's going to benefit? The globalists benefit no matter who wins.
Did you hit play?
Wait, yeah. Can you hear it?
Yeah, but it's not playing.
There's nothing playing.
Oh shit! Sorry, it switched over. So Klaus Schwab back in 2017 was bragging about, and I've got it right here. I just got to bring up the right screen. was bragging about how they have members everywhere in all the cabinets. And I think this one.
Very proud of now the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was on a
Fuck. Okay, so I need to find the actual video. 5 seconds before he said what he just said there, he talks about how proud he is to have Vladimir Putin and Angela Merkel graduating from the World Economic Forum Young Leadership Program. Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. It is the most resource-rich place, one of the most resource-rich places in all of the world. It has historically been cut off from foreign investment. And what happens with an invasion? Well, it gets leveled. Say Ukraine loses and they get leveled. What's the next step? Hey, IMF steps in. Nothing but foreign investment, nothing but Klaus Schwab's people, the De Beers, the Rothschilds, everybody. We're going to get flagged because I said all those names. But
the only thing that I'll correct you on is it's not all of the world. U.S. dominates there. But in Asia, if you take over Ukraine, you're done. You dominate everything, period. Well, end of story.
And Vladimir Putin plays a great foil because what else is happening? You have Finland, you have Sweden ceding control, you have a bunch of countries that were historically neutral. Now all of a sudden they're like, here, let us give up some of our sovereignty to you globalists so you can come in and protect us from Putin. Mind you, like Suni mentioned, there was 80% of the deaths caused in this conflict in Ukraine up until about 3 weeks ago were from the Ukrainian military and various militants associated with them attacking Eastern Ukrainians and separatists, including the massacres in Odessa, the massacres all over the Eastern region. This is not a fight where there's both sides are one side is to blame. Everybody is a puppet in this scenario, every single person. And the only people that benefit no matter the outcome are the globalists. So Suni, I'm with you 100% on this one.
Yeah, and just to give a little pushback, because I became obsessed. I became obsessed with this because I'm going to be honest. It really irritated me to see how many, not even just conservatives, but influencers hop on this and be like, Putin's bad in Ukraine and we need to stand for them and we need to send our military there. That's really what struck a nerve with me is you're constantly willing to sacrifice people who you don't know. Okay. Families like mine, because you feel like we need to be the world's police. I'm sorry, but that's not how that works. And one thing I do respect Putin for, regardless of him being a communist, that is their nation. They're entitled to be whatever the fuck they want, just like we're America. It's capitalism here. We're fighting communism. So I'm not going to be for pushing democracy in another country because I think it's good. That's BS. That would be doing the exact same thing that you're accusing Putin of. He has my respect because he stood up to Klaus at Davos. He put Klaus in his fucking place at Davos. People need to watch these things. Watch the World Economic Forum. Watch all these things that happen every year where you have the world leaders get together and talk about their ridiculous plans to dominate. He was the only world leader to stand up, call out the West for the disgusting shit that we do, and he put Klaus in his place. That is why I support Putin. Plain and simple.
I'm with you.
What's got to be to tag on to what you're saying there, Suni, is that when he's attacking the West, he's not attacking people like you and I. He's not attacking people like us. He's attacking the globalist elites that have convinced people similar to us with different political views that they are somehow tied in. It's like they've convinced people that they're on the same side as the Rothschilds, the Waltons, all the global elites that are out there somehow, some way. No, when Putin's attacking the West, he's attacking the globalist elites who, like you say, go to Davos, go to the Bilderberg Group, and they decide for us where our world is going to go without our input. That's who he's attacking.
So I get what you guys are saying, and again, I've agreed a lot. I've shifted some of my thought process on Ukraine, but ultimately, what is happening out there does not just seem to be Putin being a good guy. Like I can't get down with that.
Not entirely.
Fact is, there is innocent. There's a large amount of
Yeah.
innocent loss. I think that, again, I say this: Putin has been backed in a corner, and now he is fighting dirtier than I think his original plan may have been. But we don't know inside
Yep.
the head of a madman, and Putin is a madman. There's no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that he is. He's trying to take out these global elites in a battle for world dominance of good instead of evil. He is a communist. He is a dictator. He is an authoritarian. He has taken advantage of his citizens in the past. I know Russians that will say that he is a piece of garbage, but they can't say that until he leaves his country, plain and simple. Hold on one second.
Let me jump in while you're doing that.
Go ahead.
Like, I agree with what you're saying, but the problem is we can't allow a globalist leader. We can't. And that's where America stands. We have to be able to stand our ground and be able to control that because we are looked at as that player in the world.
Yeah.
And Mo, I apologize for jumping in before you, but we
you're
have
fine.
to be careful there. I do respect everything you're saying. I want Putin put in his place 100%. But I also respect Ukrainians. And we, as an Americans, our corrupt government of 2008 through 2016 put their leader in place. And that's where we're in this predicament today.
Yeah.
We have to be involved and we have to actually help in some sort of way. I don't want one drop of American blood shed, period. End of story.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's another country. You deal with it.
I have a
However,
question.
you knew exactly what you were getting into when you deal with America. But I want America to be able to stand up for exactly what American standards are.
Two things can, like, just real quick, two things can be true at once. One, Putin is correct in his assessment of what the evil in the West is and who needs to be attacked. And two, anytime you're going to invade another country, especially to this extent, it's bad. Like, I just do not support foreign invasions. I understand he wants to attack it, but at the same time, Putin, you control the fucking FSB. How about some classic old school assassinations, not invasions of Ukraine? Like, come on now.
So it's by the way, it is Kim Reynolds is doing the rebuttal. There was a pre-buttal by another Iowa governor or another Iowa politician. Anyways, going back to this. So again, I agree in a lot of ways with all of you. Let me turn this down so I'm not listening to it in my ear. The issue at hand is, again, any kind of massive support for Putin, and ultimately, like Mariana says here. Where does she say it? She goes, "Suni, you're saying it was fake," and this is a slight problem. The thing is, there's a gray area in this one. The civilians, and not just the civilians in Ukraine, the civilians in Russia, because Russians are being now tormented, thinking that because they're Russian, it's thinking because they're Russian that they are on the side of Putin and Putin's military. That's not the case, and therefore there are Russian civilians getting tormented as well. There are Ukrainians dying. There are Ukrainians hiding. At the same time, their government in Ukraine is forcing. The imagery is such bullshit. It's manipulative bullshit. The videos you see of fathers hugging their families, hugging their. Am I glitchy to you guys? It's glitchy on my end. Anyways,
No.
Kind of.
hugging their families, hugging their wives, hugging their kids as the trains depart from the station as they go to fight for their country. This is so manipulative. The reason why it's so sad is because they want to. They're being forced to. If you're 18 to 60 years old and a male, you are being forced. That's not a democratic nation. These are two corrupt governments fighting against each other. Let them fight each other and try to help the citizens get the fuck out. Sorry,
So
Nancy.
what's the difference between that and our draft?
Exactly why we don't have the draft anymore.
This is why war is always the last.
Do we not have the draft anymore?
No, we don't. How are you saying we have the draft?
It still can happen under a federal power.
Oh, it can still happen.
It
Yeah.
can still happen.
Yeah.
We don't have
It can,
right
but
now.
it won't.
There's no way
You
it'll happen
can't
ever
say
again.
that. We also said that about masks and vaccine mandates,
well,
right?
there's a very significant difference between the two. First and foremost, the situation that would require a draft will probably see plenty of volunteers in the first place.
But they're not. But they're not vaccinated.
Only depending on the opponent, right?
True.
If we were going to go against an opponent that people didn't agree with, you wouldn't have a whole lot of volunteers. Russia and China are the two volunteers you would see an enormous amount of volunteers. Agree or no?
No, but then again, who is actually going to attack America? Neither Russia. All we're seeing in this,
you don't have to.
For Russia, is that Russia's military is trash. Like,
no, they don't have to attack. They
have to attack
America.
A NATO person,
right?
A NATO country.
If Putin lets a missile stray even in the direction of Poland, then we're involved.
We'll find out very quickly how good America is at holding to its treaties.
It doesn't have to be Poland. My prediction is Romania. It's weaker. It's a weaker country, and they are part of it.
My prediction
Romania will bait us into this.
No, what's going to happen is Putin's going to go to the table, negotiate peace. There's going to be neutrality in Ukraine. And the next time NATO tries to expand, Putin's going to remind everyone, last time you did this, I invaded. And whether or not I was successful and won, doesn't matter. Innocent people died. Is it worth the innocent lives that you're going to try to cost here?
Let me ask you this question. Do you think Finland and Sweden are going to join NATO?
Yeah, this is bad. Well, they're going to join the EU. Different.
Which is
not
NATO.
Joining NATO.
Suni, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry.
Suni, what's your question? And then Mo.
I don't know. We keep saying we, bro. Like, we ain't doing shit.
You're right.
The military is doing shit. So there ain't no we.
You're right.
That's not happening. And on top of that, it's selective outrage, man. We bomb other countries constantly. We have killed innocent countries constantly. But you're gonna chastise Putin? Fuck out of here, bro. All the people on this moral high ground, bro. Look at your military. Look at husbands like mine and have the same energy you have for Putin. Do it because that's what they're doing.
But you're taking what I'm saying is wrong. My energy is zero with Putin. You're thinking I support him, and I do not. I do not support Putin one bit.
I'm not saying you do. The fact that you don't, though.
Are you guys aware of Noam Chomsky's manufacturing consent?
Yes, I've read that book like 5 times.
One of the things he talks about is the worthy victim versus the unworthy victim.
Exactly.
Right? The worthy victim is that which generates the outrage necessary to actually engage in combat. The unworthy victim is that which we don't care about when we're doing it, and we don't care about the unworthy victim until it suits our goals. The unworthy victim is the people of Yemen, the people of Afghanistan, the people of Iraq, the people of Syria, the people of Ethiopia, the people of Niger, the people of Chad, the people of Djibouti. Those are the unworthy victims. The fact that people are outraged now that it's Ukraine, when we have killed 2 million people in those various countries since 2000, is absolutely fucking appalling.
Who is we? Who is we, Kevin? Because I don't think
the American people.
I 100% agree with you.
The same 100%. People that get outraged about racism in this country, the same people that get outraged about all the social justice warrior bullshit that goes on in this country, the same people that attack Trump, all this other crap, are the same people that have ignored the absolute genocides going on in majority of these countries as we're bombing the ever-living shit out of these people. What is going on in Yemen is the humanitarian crisis of the age. And we don't care about it. No, you ask the average person on the street what's going on in Yemen, they won't even fucking know.
They don't even know.
No, they won't. 100%.
But they'll know all about Ukraine. It just so happens we've killed almost 500,000. We've been directly responsible for the deaths of almost 500,000 innocent people in Yemen.
So, Kevin, I agree with you. 1,000,000%.
I get very upset about these things.
No, you're 1,000,000% correct. But where do we guide the American people, and how do we help them make the right decisions? Because we're looking at this as they get the information from media in many different forms, whether it's mainstream, whether it's just random people on the internet. how do we make sure that we're making the right decision to know how we're supporting?
So we should never. Sorry, Suni, do you want to take this one? Take it.
I mean, look, don't get mad and unfollow and call people shills and all this other stuff when we actually are telling you the truth about what's going on. So the person who was like, I'm offended because you said you support Russia. Well, it doesn't matter what the fuck I support. I'm telling you the truth about what's going on, and you refuse to listen because it doesn't appeal to your feelings. That's what the average American needs to stop doing.
Yep.
Right.
So
Facts.
let me sum it up in layman's terms. So you're saying cancel culture doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work on the left. It's like it doesn't work on the right.
Yep.
I just wanted to sum that up in layman's terms. I know what you're saying.
What you have to do is you have to approach these conversations on an individual level. If I'm talking to a leftist, right? If I'm talking to somebody that I know, if I start talking about like, if I mention the word colonialization, they're going to throw the Native Americans at me, all this other bullshit. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'll ask him, why is it that you care about Ukraine? Is it because it's white people? What about all the brown and black people that we've been fucking murdering?
Facts, Kevin. Yo, we're on the same page. You're dropping bombs.
Like,
Kevin has been right all along, honestly. But Mo, let's hear your 2 cents. I'm curious.
No, I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I mean, my thing is this, like, I ask the same question when I see somebody saying hashtag pray for Ukraine, hashtag I support. Why do you support? Nobody can actually tell me why they do it. Why do you hate Russia? Don't tell me about a paragraph you read on Wikipedia or you heard on Fox News. Why do you hate Russia is the question. I mean, honestly, yes, the guy is a communist dictator, but that's his country. We shouldn't be concerned about that. What we should be concerned about is that our leadership put us in a position to be dependent on their resources and ask ourselves that. And that's where our focus needs to be. And that's where they're trying to take our focus off of.
100% correct. And again, I've gotten to do some random Fox radio stuff in the morning. And that's my biggest conversation that I've had with people is talking about the reason why we're in this position, because I can't be a puppet to the message, especially after I talked to Suni and then started doing a whole bunch of research on my own and talking a whole bunch of other
man. I don't
pages.
get any credit. I messaged you before.
You did. So you messaged me first, but you messaged me first, but you were still on the side of the opposition.
I was still trying to figure the shit out.
Exactly. We've all moved a little closer to middle on this one, but the big thing that I really can't just immediately go, Putin needs to be stopped. I can't say that. So how do I divert the conversation? What I divert the conversation into is why we are in this position in the first place, which is we shut down. It's very simple. We shut down the Keystone Pipeline. We started utilizing foreign resources, whether it be Russian, European, back to Middle Eastern. We started doing stuff out of our country again. And we started taking things from China. We dropped the tariffs on China and we re-entered the Paris Accord. So all of our stuff has to be starting towards this green initiative. We destroyed our infrastructure in one calendar year to put it to a point where Putin could look at us in the eye and go, sanctions?
This morning on the radio show, I talked about how, you want to know who really gave Putin so much power? All your young, ignorant, entitled, climate change children that have been professing, we need to go green, we need to go green. Yeah, well, going green made it so that Europe was almost entirely dependent on Vladimir Putin for all of their non-renewable energy, meaning that because of your desire to move to green technology well before we're able to, Vladimir Putin now has a lot of power to bend Europe over the barrel with.
So I have a question for all of you. And we're going to start with Mo.
Hold on really quick. Let me answer this question. Keystone is not ours. It's Canada's, but we would have had access to the fuel and oil.
We can easily shut it off.
It would have been used for there was a lot, but yes, it was secondly ours, Canada's together, and that's it. But we would have had access to that resource. Go ahead.
So in this situation we are in from America, and everything we bring in imports, we have issues at the ports. We have issues in getting stuff from Russia, which is going to impact oil prices, which is going to adversely impact groceries and all of those things. Is Russia a problem, or is our current government in handling the problem?
Our current government in
Yeah.
handling the problem is the issue.
Yep.
Most definitely. Russia is not the problem to me. We gave
They're
them
not.
the power that they have. Point
Russia
blank,
is
period.
a problem, but not our problem. It's
Is
about
a
to be our
problem,
problem.
right? It's
Yeah.
about to be our problem. Yeah, for sure.
Kevin,
No, continue.
Mo.
No, continue.
You
Mo.
can finish, Mo. Finish.
No,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just want to say this. You know, this alien resurrection bald head lesbian with a baby that they've been parading on Fox News, okay, should be a direct indication to you guys that they know exactly what's going to play into your heart. Here they have this woman who seems to be the only woman in a bomb shelter in Ukraine that we can talk to, who has a freaking amazing service
Sir,
provider. Okay,
exactly.
Listen, that ain't no Cricket wireless phone she's dealing with, y'all. Okay, that is some serious access she has. Okay, but anyways,
Hey, you
the
know who
bitch
they're
is
gonna
sitting there.
blame?
What?
You know who they're gonna give credit to? The devil himself, whom I despise, Elon Musk. You know, he got his Starlink
For
satellite
flying.
over.
Starlink with a
Oh yeah,
Whoa,
he's
whoa,
getting a lot of internet
I
out
gotta
there.
highlight this.
Bro.
Soon,
Okay.
Right.
you just
Right.
applauded Elon Musk.
No,
Oh, I didn't.
let me. So I need to tie that Elon Musk into something, right? Because I'm going to answer your question as well, Casey, right? So let's put it this way: Russia is the only thing the globalists care about because Russia plays the foil for what they want. Every time they ask for more power over your life, more sovereign, you to sacrifice more of your country's sovereignty and autonomy, they always wave the flag of Russia over you, especially if you're a European nation, right? They only care about Russia. We went to fucking war in 2003
Sorry,
with
Nancy.
Al-Qaeda. You know who we're supporting in Syria right now against the Assad regime?
Al Qaeda.
Oh,
Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda. The CIA is giving money and equipment to Al-Qaeda. They're giving money and equipment to ISIS. Why? Because Assad is allied with Russia, and ISIS and Al-Qaeda hate Assad. So we are going to give money to them. Oh, by the way, do you know what we're doing in Yemen? I keep bringing this one up. Who is the Houthi rebels' number one enemy? Oh, Al-Qaeda. We are literally using drones from America to bomb targets based on intel given to us from fucking Al-Qaeda. If that doesn't tell you how little our government actually cares about the principles it claims to have, nothing else will. If you still believe that our government cares about anything it stands for, cares about any of the values it professes, what's going on in Yemen, what's going on in Syria will counteract that entirely. And God, somebody said something, and I had another train of thought that was going to go with it. What was the other part?
Elon.
Elon.
Oh, Elon Musk, right? What is another conspiracy? Oh, the globalist elites are going to try to put microchips in our body and get us. And anybody who hears that goes, "Oh no, it's bullshit. That's never going to happen. No worries at all." And then they hear about Neuralink, and they're like, "Cool, yeah, I'd love to have a fucking chip in my brain. I would absolutely enjoy having a chip in my brain. I can't wait until Elon Musk creates the chip for my goddamn brain."
Do you guys?
Wait a minute. You can't wait for the chip from Elon Musk to go in your brain.
Casey's
Suni,
drunk.
how do you feel about that?
Casey is drunk.
He's being sarcastic. He's being facetious.
I have enough of this in me right now, but I'm like,
I gotta say one thing.
I do hate Elon because what he's doing it goes directly against American traditional principles, bro. You don't get to put fucking chips in something you didn't create. I'm sorry.
But you just clapped at him putting a chip in his brain.
What if they're lays?
No, I didn't. I clapped at the point that he was making that we have cognitive dissonance when we're like, "Oh my god, a chip! It's the mark of the beast." And then Elon Musk is like, "Ooh, I have a Neuralink," and we're like, "Woo!"
I'll fair enough. I will back off on that. Fair enough.
So I have to say something, Kevin. When you were stoned on that one show, you were little bit on the weaker side of your arguments. 5 Coors Lights in is not kryptonite to you. It is in fact liquid gold.
Well, I'm Kevin, so now we know. My only worry right now is that someone's going to be parked outside my window with a gun.
Dude, I'm out of alcohol.
Beer. I'll bring you.
My husband said that to me the other day. It's funny that you say that, Kevin. He's like, you need to stop talking about what you're talking about. Like, some of this stuff just goes too far. And I'm like, no, No, why do I have to be afraid of, bro? If you're gonna take me out, only thing you're taking is my voice. My message will live on through however many people watch me. I don't really give a shit. I feel your passion, Kevin, number one, because my husband is a service member, and I've realized the most ridiculous shit that we do. Not even we. It's not Americans, bro. It's the cabal.
Yup.
It's the cabal. They make
Yup.
all these ridiculous choices for us, and
Yes.
it's infuriating. It's
The deep
infuriating when you watch
That's what this
other
is about.
Americans champion this shit. I'm like, bro, if I could go through a line and line all of you up and just walk down that bitch and slap all of y'all, I would do it.
Stop
gonna take
being
this-
so
I'm gonna-
rude, Sunni.
I'm gonna-
Stop being so rude. Physical
I'm gonna take
violence
this
is not
time
the answer.
to remind everybody to go to #BeTheChange.com. Spell out hashtag, because after this show, we may not have channels anymore. So go to hashtag. We've talked about the Rothschilds. We've talked about One World Order. We have talked about the cabal. All these things. I want to make
Wait.
We hit all the
You missed
buzzwords.
someone. You missed someone. Fuck you, Hillary.
Hey, fuck Hillary Clinton.
He is,
They're
Casey is hammered. This is great.
The globalists are over there playing like stupid people beer pong, and every time we say like one of the words, the buzzwords like Davos or Bilderberg, like they take a
Oh, I
shot.
forgot about Bilderberg. You definitely threw that one in there too. We are
definitely- I'm so
Again,
sorry.
that's
hold on. Hey,
hashtag
Kevin.
BeTheChange.com.
Yeah.
Kevin, you
Yeah.
know what's his name? What the fuck is his name? I can't stand him either. DeSantis. You know DeSantis wrote a bill that bans you and I from saying what we're saying here today.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. Americans need to
Correction.
understand what we're up against.
Look,
Correction. He did not write that bill. He
signed it.
He signed it under because he had 2/3 of the vote. He had no choice. He had to sign it.
Yeah, he did.
Ooh.
He
was-
supported
I'm just
it.
saying.
You
But no,
Stop
he couldn't. He
stop
couldn't
the
do anything about
shenanigans,
it.
bro. He
He had
supported it.
2/3 of the vote. He had no
The
choice. He had
shenanigans.
to sign it.
This is my message to the globalist elites, because like I understand you guys have money, you have power.
They're listening,
Let's work
too.
together, because when you do what you're doing right now, when you make peaceful protest impossible, the next step of that is something that nobody wants. And that's the problem I have is what they're doing is going to lead people to being so angry, so upset that it's going to lead to really terrible consequences. And it's like, look, let's just cut the shit. Let's go to a capitalist society. You guys can keep your fucking money, but let's just make things more attainable for the average
I
person.
can't
and
believe
more fair.
Nancy's still listening to us, because this
I
has
am-
been
I
a potty
tried
mouth
so hard.
episode.
I blame.
I tried
blame
so hard to
Bruce.
say what I just said in like terrible terms. I
Yeah.
tried so hard.
That was so close. All right, so because we just kind of brought it up, and I want to talk about it real quick, and then we'll get into the end of Virtue Signaling Month. We
I'm
kind of
listening, but I'm
we
going
have
back.
touched into it. How many of you guys listened or watched the whole Trump speech?
I did not.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay,
I
then I'll just
figured
make
it
I'll make it
I
quick.
had
as
to
best.
throw up, so I went to the bathroom, and then I gave up.
So this is how I feel about the Trump speech. It's just, we continue to talk about how he's going to have to do a lot to win back our respect, our listening. And it's not that he won it back all the way, but I feel like Donald Trump is the damn mafia. Once you think you are out, they pull you back in. And I'm listening to this, and it's like he got me when he was weak. It's like I'm at the bottom of the barrel. Like it's like I had just broken up with a girlfriend, and I'm sitting there with a shitty president, and I'm weak, and I'm sitting there, and he says all the things I want to hear. It was the most dysfunctional relationship on the planet.
I was like that with Obama.
I get
You
that
know?
too. I can see that because Obama was a great orator. He was a great speaker.
Amazing.
And honestly, because of how bad Biden is, Trump to me in that hour and 20 minutes when he was giving the speech at CPAC, I was like, son of a bitch, he got me again.
What did paraphrase? what were his three talking points?
Give me your 2 cents.
He talked a lot about how to create change in the country and our own government. He talked about the negatives that Biden was doing specifically. He made light of certain things. He had some jokes like he does where you're kind of like, God dang it, that's funny. He did continue to talk about election interference, but he did say that, there's some things changing. Election interference also includes Russian collusion. It also includes all the misinformation, the things that we weren't paying attention to. He talked about the fact that Putin is incredibly smart. but he didn't praise him. He said it's still, he goes, they had my respect. If we get back in office, we can get the respect of foreign nations again. And he goes, the importance of foreign nations to have this respect is so that they know that we are the United States of America and we know that we actually mean business. And he made a couple great jokes, and I'll end it here, where he talked about his meeting with the with not Al-Qaeda, Taliban, the meeting with the Taliban and the meeting with Putin. He goes, there's some things that someday I'll tell you what was really said in those meetings. Because he was essentially saying, he told them, he goes, I said to Putin, you know what happens if, you do this to our country or to this country? Well, I'm not going to tell you the whole story. I'll tell you someday exactly the words I used. But it was this conversational tone with the American public that was lucid, for one. It was talking about actually growing together as people. It was calling out the media, not just as fake news, but why the division is here. He did a solid job. He was against mandates. At the same token, I still need to hear a lot more to be back on the Trump bandwagon.
So
Yeah,
But
that
I'm
didn't
Trump
convince
and-
me.
Not me. I'm on it. I stayed
Dave
on
Smith
it.
bandwagon.
Listen, I told Suni the other day, I said, girl, you're about to eat a big old double-decker Trump sandwich in about a second here, because I kind of feel like I only saw I only saw clips from that speech, but like when he was like, this whole thing going on in Russia is about to awaken a sleeping giant. I know he's been saying that, but Suni and I have been having conversations, and I'm like, could he have been as smart as we don't want to believe he was, to just like really just set this up with all the world leaders to like bring down the deep state? I'm like, dude, I'm here for it. And if he does it, I'm voting for him. Done.
Hey, look, he didn't. We did. I said I'm not on the Trump train yet. I'm still gonna. I'm gonna stand firm. If he does not talk about these motherfucking jobs, I know something.
He's proud of them.
He
didn't talk
He's proud of them
about
because
him.
of his
He
profit.
didn't talk about him.
He's
did
No,
proud
no,
of them
I'm
because of
talking
his
about
profit.
the adverse effects. I'm talking about the 45-minute video of a whistleblower from the DOD coming out, which no one is talking about.
Oh yeah.
I want him to deal with that. That
Yep.
affects my family, bro. Like when it's at your front door, it's different. You get on there and say all that shit. Look, it makes people feel good, but what are you doing? If you ain't doing that, I'm good on you.
So
Now,
Sony,
nobody is going to say that runs for.
Yes,
I'm
they
gonna.
will.
You think
Yes, they will.
you think a presidential candidate that has a chance in hell is going to actually talk about adverse reactions? I mean, if I run, we'll talk about it. But
not you. You can't figure things out. But yeah, that's fine.
I don't think anybody is going to have the balls to do that.
DeSantis is the only one that everybody is calling for to run as president. And DeSantis is the only one fighting against the military to get rid of the vaccine mandate. He is the only one. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in him, but he is the only one.
I don't know if Rand Paul has thrown his and I know that you guys don't
Rand
agree.
Paul's garbage.
Rand Paul would be
I'm
the only
telling you.
crazy-ass one to talk about adverse reactions. I can
Fact.
guarantee you right now, Rand Paul
and his dad.
His dad, but his
dad
dad
is
doesn't carry any weight in the political arena anymore.
Rand does.
But the thing is that I truly believe you're going to see something special out of Dave Smith from the libertarian side. The problem with the libertarian side has been the messaging, has been the actual the structure and the people that are in charge. There is a revolution going on within the party that's actually addressing these issues. Like myself, I'm a part of the Mises Caucus, which is taking it over. We are the libertarians. We are the anarchists. We are the people who say the government needs to get out of your life. But also, oh, by the way, hey, conservatives, we don't support the LGBTQ agenda. We support school choice. We support the government getting out of stuff. We look at the left and we say, hey, yeah, we hate war too. We want to make healthcare affordable by getting the government out of it. But I truly think we should be looking at outside as well. We complain constantly that we're in a two-party system, but we always treat the other parties that are presenting themselves as if they are a wasted vote. It's
Red-headed stepchildren. They aren't.
It's very. I truly think what's coming up with people like Michael Malice, Tom Woods, Dave Smith in the Libertarian Party, Scott Horton. These are some of the smartest human beings you will ever see. I promise you, look outside of
Do
the
you know who
Republicans
else
and the Democrats.
directly opposed the two-party system, the binary system? Do you know?
Like
Anybody
all
on
our
the panel?
founding fathers.
All
Like,
of them. They
all of
all
them.
say once it gets into a monopoly of two parties dominating, America's over.
My favorite president of ever in history is Thomas Jefferson, and he's always spoken that when you guys have heard this before,
The
that
one that made free speech illegal?
no, but
The
when
Alien and Sedition Act?
dude, really, we're not going
I'm
into
just
that.
giving you shit.
We
dude.
can have a whole conversation around those.
I
things,
know.
but yes,
I know. I'm just giving you shit.
I get where you're going. However, but when we talk about the government overreach and the government running everybody else rampant, when the government doesn't fear tyranny, and the government implements tyranny, and the people fear the government, that's where tyranny comes into play, right? But when we start looking at the government fearing the people, that is where liberty comes into play. And we have to start looking at it that way. We have to stand up in a unified fashion and going at the government. Look at the convoys. I'm not a big fan of what's going to DC. However, I still support them because of their voice and their power. We have to come together and we have to come unified to be able to make a change in any state that we want to make a change in.
Not gonna lie, I felt pretty jacked up when I saw. I'm with you, Casey, in terms of is it a good idea to go to DC? I don't think so. But I got pretty jacked up when I saw the convoy people on the bridges in Texas today in Dallas area. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling it. I was feeling a little bit. I might have honked my horn and yelled a little bit. Yeah, you got to go, Kevin. Have a great evening. Unfortunately, we're about to talk about bail. We'll make this quick. We're going to end the show real fast. It's already at 2 hours because of the state of the garbage address. Kevin, any final words you could give everybody?
Hey, yeah, I just want to say this is what it all comes down to is that we need to stop letting ourselves be divided so easily. We need to stop looking at people on the left as our enemies. We need to stop looking at people that disagree with us politically, that have different mindsets. We are all on the same side. We have a globalist elite force that is intentionally driving the divide between all of us. They are using propaganda. They are using manipulation. They are using every tool in their chest to make sure that we, the people, do not realize, hey, wait a second, we are being divided based on bullshit reasons. We are being pushed away from each other, and we are being, what is being cultivated is a sense of division that only benefits the people at the top that are weaponizing the government, weaponizing the policies, and weaponizing their money to keep us down. So at the end of the day, if you meet a leftist who agrees with you a little bit on stuff, show them some love, show them some appreciation, and show them some compassion. Welcome them with open arms and be like, you know what? You might want universal health care. You might want free college. Neither one of us gets anything we want until we can get rid of the globalists that keep us down. So that's my only message. Catch me on Common Nonsense every morning, 1360khnc.com. Thank you guys so much for having me tonight and putting up with my bullshit. I appreciate y'all.
I like drunk Kevin.
Right? He talks less. What's
up with that? You talk less when you're drunk. How is that make any sense?
The words I say are more impactful. I have to think a little bit because I got to get through that drunken stupor. So I have to actually think about stuff up here first before it comes out. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. And, thanks for putting up with me tonight.
Casey's, take it easy, Kevin. Good to see you back. Casey's going to address Gina's comment. Grant is back in I thought, really quick, Grant, I thought you left us for good because we supposedly lied about the crack pipes. Were you watching the episode when we actually had somebody that went in and got the crack pipes from, I mean, you said that we were blatantly lying and we were making things up just because you believe what Jen Psaki said come out of her mouth. Turns out that Jen Psaki was lying as we had somebody go get a kit that actually had crack pipes. Anyways, good to see you back though, buddy. All right, go ahead. Which comment do you want? This one?
Gina's. So what happened to the convoy being in DC by today? No, that was, you got to remember there's multiple convoys. We're talking about a major population difference compared to Canada. There is a small population from the Northeast that was going to be in DC today. They ran into weather and they are not going to be on time. Now, the Freedom Convoy, which is coming from the West Coast, was not planning to be there until this weekend. They will be there on Saturday. All of them on Saturday. Some will get there on Friday, FYI. But overall, they'll get there. in my opinion, I still support them, but I don't know what you're trying to achieve. Like here in Utah, we dropped everything. So going to the federal government and saying drop mandates doesn't seem successful. You got to go to your capital and you got to go to your legislature that's there. But overall, it's good. Like you got to support the people around you that want to do the right thing. Support them.
Nancy said the convoy isn't going to DC. Where's it going?
Which convoy? Because the People's Convoy is going to DC.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. And again, if we actually had any real information, we've had the emails on endthemandateusa.com, but we actually don't really know anything official, nor do we necessarily want to lead people down to something we don't really know who's planning it, how it's being done. Anyways, all right, real quick, end of Virtue Signaling Month. Let's really quick talk about BLM. If you guys have seen the news, they've been dropped from Act Blue, not just Amazon charities, but BLM has been dropped from Act Blue because right now there is $60 million unaccounted for from BLM. So anybody have any thoughts on this? Anybody seen this? Anybody want to talk about this? Or we just all realize that Black Lives Matter should officially be dead as a organization?
I told you, we told you so. Like, what else are we going to say? What the fuck else are we going to say?
I'll let the girls on the other side say that. I can't because I'm white.
The women on the other side.
The women.
All I have to say is Black History Month is literally CRT. So stop celebrating slaves. Quit telling children the same folk tale that my mother fucking learned. My mom was 55. Okay, so for 55 years straight, we've been telling the same damn story, and ain't shit changed. White people still feel bad for being white, and Black folks still feel like victims. And I gotta head out, so that's my TED Talk. I'm Black. I'm not oppressed. CRT and Black Lives. I said Black Lives Matter. Good Lord.
But before you go, Suni, because this is my final question, because the big Democrat argument is that CRT that Black history and CRT are the same thing. And do you believe in teaching just basic Black history in schools, like the history of slavery, all of the above?
No,
you don't think
Black
history
should be taught? Is American history. I think it should just be taught all throughout school. You don't need a designated month.
Okay.
So of course, like you talk about slavery, but the way they're teaching children is by pulling at their heartstrings, by saying the conditions that they were in. What does that have to do with the history of America? Well, look, at one point, it was a form of cheap labor, and then that's just what it is. But they depict. My problem is they depict every single Black person from Africa. I have no lineage to Africa. I was in America. Okay. My people are indigenous to America. There's no reason to teach an entire population of people that they came from West Bumfucking Africa. No, we didn't.
But what if they do specify that, saying there is a lot of Black cultures that are not from Africa? And again, I'm with you, and it's just part of American history. But I do think it needs to be touched on. Like slavery needs to be touched on. Irish slavery should be touched on. Italian slavery, should be. All of these things should be discussed so people can learn about the history of America. But I think there is this odd fine line now with CRT. And I'll let Suni one more time, and then Mo and Casey we'll wrap it up because I know you gotta go.
Look, I agree. It's a part of history. It should be talked about, but stop perpetuating ridiculous, unrealistic stereotypes and ideologies to Black children. Honestly, we could come with all the right-wing talking points we want, but they feel like they have no identity. And I know because I felt that way. I'm just like, well, where am I from? My mother still has that thought pattern. None of this shit here in this country applies to me. And that's where a lot of the Black community is coming from. They have no identity. So listen, yes, you do. You are indigenous to this land. It's yours just as much as it is the white guys. And until we start teaching that, we'll have the continued anger, rightfully so, because you're lying. Stop lying to people. That's just
Love it. All right, so are you going over to Instagram right now, or what are you doing? You
Yeah,
gotta go.
somebody's calling me over there. I'm gonna.
right, go
you
ahead.
guys can hop on too if you want. I'm gonna do a
Thanks, Susu.
little
Later,
IG
Susu.
live.
All right, we're gonna wrap up pretty quick. I'm gonna have Mo and Casey finish up that little conversation. By the way, I never said that he was. I said I put a picture next to each other and said, "Super weird coincidence how much they look alike." There's a huge difference. Learn how to read. It's not just a conspiracy channel. Actually, order yourself the drug kit, and you'll learn that Jen Psaki is the only conspiracy you need. And Grant, you need Jesus. Anyways,
Amen.
Mo, what do you think about the Black History comments and discussions?
My thing is this: like, I definitely think all of the history involving slavery needs to be taught accurately, right? But it seems like the only side that they teach is the very negative victimhood side of slavery. There's so many success stories also out of slavery. There's so many stories of Black wealth that came out of slavery. There's also stories of Black slave owners, right, that they don't like to talk about. So I think if you're going to talk about Black history, let's talk about it, but let's talk about it accurately. Let's talk about all the sides of it, right? I'm not a fan of any type of month for any type of race. I don't like any type of Hispanic heritage bullshit or Black history bullshit.
What about March?
Is,
March is Women's History Month. Just
you already know what I think about that. Like, I think that's so stupid. You know what I mean? I think that just further adds to the divide. So yeah, I think that if we're gonna teach something, let's teach all of it. Let's educate people on the good and the bad, because there's bad exists on both sides. And I think that we'll all be better for it. So that's all I got. I'm surprised I was able to get those thoughts out considering how drunk I am. I've had quite a few shots of tequila.
I cheated with the water. I don't know if anybody saw me pour the water in the glass in the middle just to prove that I was, because I have to be up ridiculously early tomorrow. Nor do I. That was such a depressing thing to watch. That's our president, and that's whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, Casey, what's your thoughts on it? And then let's wrap up.
Yeah,
I want to have a drink with Grant. I want to go have a drink at one point. I wish he was. If you're in Texas, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'll come with.
So on the slavery point, I 100% that it needs to go, but it's not because I'm white. But let's be clear, one of the best and the most productive people first coming to our land in the northern American continent is, we're looking at Samuel Bell. And Samuel Bell had his own slaves, but he was Black, and he found some of the most richest land that we have in North America. Now, it was in Canada, Nova Scotia, off the side islands of that, but Samuel Bell was a genius, and he didn't let those things stop him. He didn't require pandering. He didn't require media to be able to tell him he can do it. He just stepped up and did it. And that is exactly how our founding fathers did the same thing. They're like, our earth is flat. Well, okay, hold my beer. I'm going to go drive over to this continent on a boat, right? So when we start talking about these things, that's the part that we need to look at. But overall, you look at history, there is just as many Black people that are successful as there were whites back in the day. You can't say one is more successful. The only thing is the media and the interpretation that we have had over the years makes you think differently. And that's the problem. We can't be looking at it that way. And that's my whole feeling with it is, I don't care what color you are, where you come from. You can be purple, yellow, green. I don't care. If you're a good person and you respect somebody else, that's where I draw the line. Once you go above not respecting someone, outside of that, we're done.
I think you nailed it on the second half. The first half, I thought I was listening to a Joe Biden speech. I think Mo and I were both like, yeah,
no.
You're going to watch the replay just in this part tomorrow, and you're going to be like, oh, those first three sentences did not make any sense.
Do you even know who Samuel Bell is?
No, before you got to Samuel Bell, the route to Samuel Bell was a little bit cloudy. Okay. And that's all I'll say. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But no, you brought up great points, and it's apparently we're slamming Black history, whatever. I love this guy, I really do. All right, with that said, guys, I think it's time we wrap up. Is there any? Somebody keeps asking, because it's so hard to find Suni's Instagram. What is her Mo? You know it better than us,
Jesus.
probably.
Yeah.
Antonia
So-
got it.
It's
did they put it in there?
Suni.
Oh.
It's Suni_the_middle_child.
Yep. Antonia's got it.
Oh, my dog Woody's getting up in here. Hi, buddy.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Not that Woody, the dog, whatever. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, Mo.
Let's Talk Darling on Instagram, letstalkdarling.com, on my website, and on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. Fuck Twitter. Sorry,
Tweeter.
Nance.
Yep. Woody needs
Oh,
to
jeez.
be played with. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Oh, he just pulled my ear thing out. Awesome. All right. So just so you guys know, I'll be back on Fox Radio again. It's not like national radio; it is regional. I'll be back on Monday. We will post. Is this real life? we will. We
He's
will
like, "Get
post.
that hat."
I'll post what channels it'll be on the national level. This is hilarious. Yeah, conspiracy. That'd be a fun show, and we'll have Jen Psaki giving it with you, Grant. But I'll be on. I'll give that for Monday, and then I'm actually having a conversation about maybe Fox National stuff tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. What is his deal? Casey, wrap us up.
Aww.
Oh,
He likes
great
the
show,
Brandon
guys. Unfortunately, our president let us all down. No one's surprised, but much love. Tune in next week. We'll be here, less drunk and not as much drinking.
I kind
do
of feel
have
like
some
we should be drunk all the time.
Maybe. I have some sad news, by the way. The cat that I named Brandon unfortunately passed away. The Let's Go Brandon cat, he passed away yesterday. It was very sad.
What did
What
you learn?
happened?
Unfortunately, the wrong brand. We don't know. He had an issue with his man area, and we were
He had COVID dick?
No, he had a prolapsed penis, and Kelly and I booked an appointment with the vet. We noticed it Sunday morning. We booked an appointment with the vet for Monday afternoon, and between Monday morning, we saw him in the morning, and then he just was dead. It was really
You
I
can
don't
die
deal well
from a
with.
prolapsed penis?
So we think there's prolapsed penises that just happen, and then there's prolapsed penises that happen from. Did this asshat just say karma? What a dick!
Wow, Grant, go to
that's-
hell.
Anyways, so we think that there was the actual disease causing the prolapsed penis, not the prolapsed penis just being that. It was a symptom of whatever else was going. It was really like.
Wow.
Kelly has dealt with dead animals before. I've had dead animals, but like it's always like you're at the vet, you put it to sleep. This one was like dead cat in the middle of the field. Like it's weird. And it was like I had to shovel it and then like create a grave. Never done that. I'm 39. What did you do to your cat? Weird. I don't know. So
Grant,
So,
who touched you,
Grant, we don't have the mind you have, so just have a good night.
yeah. Grant Bull. Anyways, guys, take it easy. Make sure you check out awakenotwokestore.com. We got Convoy is 20% off. And how much longer? Last thing I'm going to say, Casey, how much longer are we doing CPAC 22?
Let's do it through tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow's last day to get 22% off. CPAC 22 gets you 22% off. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. God bless.
Bye.
And be the change you wish to see in the world. And remember, the truth will always set you free. Hey, Tabitha, don't worry. We have 3 dogs, another cat, and 12 horses. We'll be fine.